All right. Let's get to it. Last time in Renascence, the party had arrived back at the mining camp to find the miners were recovering from a recent counterattack by the spider creatures. With no fatalities but a handful of injuries, the party helped tend to the wounded before delving back into the depths. They found a path that intersected with their previous routes and delved deeper still. In time, they came to the deepest chambers of the caves, where a crew of Spider-Men were working to salvage what eggs they could from the enormous clutch stored in the nest. A ferocious battle ensued, and despite several close calls, the party emerged victorious. Once the dust had settled, the party settled on a plan and got to work, burning the nest and retreating back to the mining camp. With the caverns filling with smoke, the party set to watching the skies, hoping to get some sense of the location of the supposed second entrance to the caverns, based on the column of smoke issuing from it. And after a few hours of observation, they did eventually note a small, distant trail winding up behind the mountain from deep in the jungle. Determining that it was better to find a guide than strike out now on their own, the party determined to head back to town, hoping to get in touch with an acquaintance of Lauren's, Adlar, the elvish hunter. So, I believe that we are picking up just as the party has returned to Gladham and night has fallen. Are there any questions before we begin? And did I miss anything? Because I believe that was where we left off last time.
That's what I had written down. I think we're good.
All right. All right, guys. Well, you are on the edge of Gladham, drawing even with the North Shore Resort. Night has almost fully fallen at this point. There's just kind of the last little vestige of sunlight offshore that you can see that thin strip of fading red on the horizon. The sky is growing dark. The stars are coming out. What are we doing?
I assume it's late enough that most things are closing at this point.
Do you guys want to make your way towards the town itself?
When we're in Gladham?
I'd say you were on the edge of Gladham at this point. So if you wanted to proceed in the town and look around. At this hour, I think you could expect most of the daily business is probably concluded. But you would know that a lot of the sort of front yard eateries that are set up around town are generally going until fairly close to midnight. You guys have been out here enough times shopping for food and taking it back to the resort. You would know that much.
Okay. Hold on. What about the place where I met Riley? Would that be open?
That was the Yondralos Copes Brewery and Beer Garden. You would imagine it's probably open fairly late. It's a wide open bar and kind of grilling area.
And this is the end of the third day of mine duty so far?
Third or fourth. You guys have been on mine duty since the... Let's see here. The 29th. And today is the 31st. So yeah, I guess third day.
I should probably go check in with her. So that's probably where Noelle's going to go, at least.
Okay. So Noella's making her way towards the brewery.
If Noelle's going to a bar, Lauren is following.
As she catches up to me, I'm like, I'm not really going to drink it, Lauren.
Oh, come on, just one.
I mean,
just one.
I could, I suppose. I was going to follow up with a potential lead on the forest, but
follow up and
we can do two
have
things.
a drink
I guess we can
at
multitask.
the same time.
I will join in, though I have no interest in drinking at the moment.
All right.
I guess that's one way to pass the time.
So Girl Squad plus Burberry heading towards the brewery. What are John and Barnaby doing?
I'll see if I can't figure out how to make some fancier earplugs.
Fancy earplugs?
Fancier than what I got.
All right, interesting. How do you want to tackle that?
Because I got the earwax ones, and there was another method you said that would take me longer. I'm trying to remember what that was.
I don't remember either. I didn't write that down. Did you write that down?
No, because the beeswax worked good enough.
Sculpting with clay or something?
Was it clay or cork or something that you were trying to use?
I think so. Cork. Yeah, just cork my ears up.
Sure, yeah.
See if I can't get some cork from maybe some of the beer bottles or something that have been.
Yeah, you could probably go inquire after some cork. See if anyone's willing to part with their bottle tops. Do you want to go to the tavern too and ask there, or do you want to ask somewhere else?
That probably does make the most sense on where to find excess cork.
Sounds like 4 out of 5 members of the party enjoy breweries. John?
I don't enjoy it. I'm more tolerated.
I mean,
it sounds like
anything specific for John. So,
all right. The party makes their way towards the brewery then, and as you approach, it is, as expected, pretty busy. It's one of the brightest establishments on the edge of the square here, and very crowded. The sort of front enclosure out front is full of elvish locals gathered around fire pits and grills, preparing dinner with food that they seem to have brought from home or some other cellar around the square. And you can see that, looking around, that there's a handful of stalls that are still open at this hour, but for the most part, business has pretty much winded down in the market itself. But yeah, the brewery is hopping, and stepping inside and kind of pushing through the crowd in the establishment itself, you were able to kind of sidle up to the bar and start looking around. Noelle, you're looking for
Riley.
Riley, gotcha. Does she work today? Yes. Thankfully, her schedule lined up with your arrival, and you see that she is indeed serving drinks a few seats down to a trio of young, boisterous elvish men.
Okay. When she glances over this way, I'll just give her a wave and a nod.
And when she looks over and she'll see you, and she kind of lightens up and concludes her business over there before making her way down the counter towards you. And she says, Miss Noelle, was it?
Riley, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you as well. Friends of yours.
Oh, yes. This is my friend Burberry and Lauren and John and Barnaby. Oh, you met John.
Yes, I do remember the very large, handsome man. You're back. That is good to see. I was a little worried you maybe had forgotten me.
No, we have just been busy dealing with some issues in the mines.
Well, I hope it went well.
It's sort of still going, but we have a reasonable sized break right now. So I wanted to follow up about the offer that you had suggested.
Yes.
A chance to maybe meet with the elders, or your friend could maybe get us to talk with them.
Yes. Give me one moment. I've got a break coming up at the top of the hour, so I will be able to maybe sit down then. But I do have news for you. In the meantime, can I get any of you something to drink while I'm here?
I would like a beverage.
Oh, excellent. Light, dark, do you have a preference? We specialize in a variety of brews.
I trust your judgment.
I will pick a good one then.
Do you possibly have any tea?
Tea? I can set a kettle up. We do not typically serve tea, but I do have some in the break room.
I would greatly appreciate it.
Do you have anything strong and fruity?
Yes, 1 second. She kind of flushes. You can kind of see she was like trying to come up with something cutesy to reply with and just fucking fumbled.
Failed.
She just kind of like glances away, blushes, like, I'll get you a drink. So she'll turn back to the cask on the wall and start pouring beverages into steins and pass them out to you guys.
Well, we'll take one of whatever Lauren's having.
Sure. Aloran and Noel, you are partaking of a deep amber lager-ish sort of beer. Very foamy, on the sweeter side, but with a very strong kind of bready, malty body to it. It's hearty. It's a filling one. This is not a light beer by any means.
I will say,
Sean.
sorry to interrupt, but we'll probably move to a table, I guess, just so we're not taking it to the bar. Because she was wanting to meet us and talk with us and stuff. So
Sure. John, she serves a dark brown, almost it's got almost like a kind of a reddishy purple kind of tone to it. This has a very interesting character to it. It's definitely a stronger beer. Like you can just smell it as it is handed to you. But there is an almost sour-esque kind of undercurrent to it. Maybe not as fruity as you might have hoped, but it's definitely atypical for like a stout or anything that dark. There's an acidity there.
John will look at the waitress, wink, and say thank you.
She will blush and say just, of course.
Here I thought you didn't have any game.
it's so backhanded.
Riley will just kind of flush and turn away. For those of you getting drinks, that will be 4 copper pieces. And yeah, you guys can take a seat at a table and enjoy your beverages. People watch. After about 10-15 more minutes, you will see Riley kind of step into the back, disappearing through a doorway. And about a minute later, she'll come back out. Apron and name tag off, and kind of make her way across the room towards you guys, with a small cup of her own in hand, and take a seat. Lauren.
Real quick, while we're waiting, can I see if that I can't remember his name, even though we said it at the very beginning, that elf guy is that we're looking for is at the bar or at the.
Sure, give me a perception check.
What's his name? Alden?
Adlar.
Adlar. I think I made that exact same mistake last time.
So 18.
18. Yeah, scanning the bar, Aloran. A lot of people here. None of them are Adlar.
I just know he said I was fun, so he might come to a fun establishment.
Are you looking to be served something else, Lauren?
No.
Oh, for heaven's sake, I'm gonna go see if I can get some pork. Barney just gets up and walks off.
You guys are ribbing each other, and Barney's like, I can't deal. Fucking walks away as Riley sits down. She's like, oh no, did I offend him somehow?
No, we did.
No, that would be me.
Oh, good. Well, as long as I am not unwelcome.
Sorry, just because I haven't ever written it down, I keep forgetting. What is this place called again?
This is called, it's a mouthful, the Yondralos Copse.
How do you spell
Yondralos, Copse, Copse.
Okay. I feel like I did write that down once, and then it's gotten lost. But thank you.
Sure.
So, Riley,
Yes.
you had a potential opportunity for something about an heirloom, I remember.
Yes. So, my friend, she's an artist here in town. And a human artist, believe it or not. She does a decent amount of work around the city, but she has a standing contract with the temple of the divines here in town. What do you call him? Elise? She
I
carves...
try to assist her with her attempt at finding the correct.
Yeah, Alice is the goddess that you would clearly recognize. You've seen shrines to her throughout the
Right.
Emerald Coast. She does a lot of the carving for the statues there, but there was some damage not too long ago to some statues, and she was asked to craft some replacements, but now her toolset has gone missing, and she was a little vague when she told me about it initially. But they are precious to her, not just for her work, but they are heirlooms from her family, passed down. So she is in a bit of a situation right now. But if you would maybe be able to help, I think that could go a long way. You know, she, as I say, has a close relationship with the shrine and the attendant here in town. I think that could be a useful relationship to cultivate here if you are trying to make a name for yourself.
I assume that she has more details, but what is her name?
Lee Barrows.
Could you spell that?
Lee is L-E.
Oh.
And Barrows is B-E-R-U-Z.
B-E-R-U. Barrows. Okay.
Did you repeat that in a different voice? Because when you talk like her, I can't hear anything you say.
So her friend Lee Bears is an artist. She does a
And how
decent
do you
amount of
spell her
work
name?
around town. L-E Lee Bears. B-E-R-U-Z.
B-E-R...
U-Z. Zed. Zeta. Zombie.
I thought it was going to be spelled B-E-A-R-S. Lee Bears.
Le Bears.
Le Bears.
My friend is Le Bears.
I thought our friend was LeBear.
Boo, Le Bears.
We know Le Bears too.
Do you not?
No.
But no, she's an artist in town. She does a decent amount of work around town. She's well regarded and noteworthy that she is human, living in Gladham,
As opposed to an elf.
as opposed to the largely elvish population of the city proper. She does do a decent amount of work with the shrine to Alice here in town. You guys passed this on your way into Gladham on your first day. You probably passed it again on your way to the square tonight. And if you'll recall that the interior was sort of blocked off by a curtain that had been drawn across the front of the building. Apparently, some statues inside the shrine had been damaged. Lee was asked to craft some replacements. And as of about a week and a half ago now, her tools went missing. These are tools that are both very important to her work as well as very sentimental. They are handed down to her by her family. So she was not happy to find them gone.
So these tools were hers specifically, not the temple's.
Correct. But she does close work with the temple. So, you help her out, you help the temple out, and perhaps this translates into, how you say, clout.
A connection. Yes, all right, well, this sounds worth investigating. Where do we find her?
Well, she has a workshop in her backyard. I can give you her address.
Okay.
She'll pull out a scrap of paper, looks like an old receipt, and start scribbling on the back of it with a pen. Hand it over to you.
A Costco receipt.
Yeah. So just don't read that. That's a little private.
Why did you buy 50 bananas?
You don't buy 50 bananas?
Well, I buy like 40, but I don't know, 50 seems like a lot.
They're cheaper in bulk, so it seemed like a good way to ensure my potassium for the month. If you freeze them, they're almost like a popsicle.
Oh, have you ever had frozen grapes? Those are very good too.
Oh, those are fantastic. Big fan.
Yeah, as you can see in line 15.
That's what the 40 grapes for 40
Just
pounds.
40. That's not a lot of grapes. That's a lot of bananas.
40 pounds of grapes, whatever. But yeah, she'll hand over the receipt without issue. It's not a big deal.
Okay. So
That's still a lot of grapes.
I said don't look at the receipt.
Maybe she's making wine,
Well, I was thinking, like, each grape weighs way less than a pound.
anyway,
Perhaps we were making restock.
We are never going to get out of this conversation.
Nope.
no, I was just going to say, should we probably should wait till tomorrow morning, right? It is getting a little late.
It is probably a little late to be calling on business.
Well,
You're welcome to stay here, though, and enjoy the rest of your evening if you are so inclined.
we might hang out for a bit. We have residents elsewhere on the island, but
Are you staying down by the docks? I know
uh,
most visitors to the island stay at the wet houses.
we are staying at the North Shore Gardens.
Oh, look at you. She does seem visibly impressed. Perhaps a smidge intimidated. She kind of shrinks back a little bit in her chair. Just like, oh, goodness.
We're all like covered in spider guts.
Notably, she has not asked about anything. Like none of these injuries or viscera that you're covered in. Like totally playing it cool. But the money thing definitely seems to put her on the back foot.
I mean, we didn't pay for it, though.
Oh. Well, that's
We worked for it.
We did work for it. Done in trade.
Well, that is certainly a good trade. You definitely came out on top of that one.
Well, it helps that the day we got here, we had kind of a good reference. The captain of our boat that took us here was friends with Botan, so.
First name with the head of the resort. That is oh goodness, high rollers here. She kind of glances over at John, just watches him take a drink out of his little tankard.
Burberry kind of like leans over and goes, "He is single, by the way."
It's good to know. Barnaby,
Yes,
you wandered off at the top of this conversation.
I did.
Where are you going? What are you doing?
I want to go up to one of the barkeeps and say, "Hey, where can I get some of the excess cork that you all got? Can I buy some?"
Sure. So you head up to a young man who is serving bar behind the counter, and another elf.
You're serving bar. What else are you serving?
Tending bar. I'm sorry. Goodness. He takes a second to respond. He's like, one second, sir. Before finally coming over, says, "Hey, you said you were looking for cork."
Yes, I'm trying to make some stuff. Got a little project I need some extra cork for.
Make some stuff. Okay. Well,
I'm not exactly if it's sure to pan out, so I don't really want to talk about it.
how much is this cork worth to you, sir?
Oh, let's see. He starts counting on his fingers.
As you're counting, one guy kind of pushes up next to you. He's like, "Could I get another one, please?" Slams his tankard down. It's like, 1 second, sir. Mr. Goblin.
Let's see. I need some for as a backup. I need some for this. I need some for this. I need some for at least about 8 people.
Okay, so
2 each, so about 16 cork if you got it.
Okay, how much are you willing to pay for this cork, sir? Is this something we could perhaps trade? Coin for goods?
It's cork. Sorry. Sorry.
Can I get my drink? 1 second, sir.
Yeah, take your time. I mean, how much are you thinking? Is like a gold too little? I don't exactly know the going price of cork around here.
I'll gladly take a gold for 20 cork. Yeah.
Right.
he just sticks the hand out immediately for the coin.
You got a deal.
All right, I'll be right with you, sir. Give me a bit to collect the cork. Your drink, sir. Yes. He'll pull that tankard up and go refill it at one of the casks. And he almost immediately kind of resumes tending Barnaby, and just kind of leaves you standing there. And periodically kind of glances back in your direction, just holds up that one finger, like, "I'll be right back." But over the course of the next probably 10 minutes, you see him in slow moments kind of break off and kind of duck under the counter and start picking up pieces of something before being called back to serve drinks. And eventually he kind of makes his way back over to where you're sitting and just like turns the front of his apron almost inside out, empties that pocket down in front of you, and just all these corks just spill out onto the counter in front of you.
Oh. Almost lost one there.
I lost count, but that should be at least 20, so that should be good, yeah?
Let me take a look. Do they look like they could fit in an ear, or do they need to be shaved down a little bit?
I'll say...
too big or too small is what I'm wondering.
I'd say it would definitely depend on the ear. You got them big old goblin ears, so like you could probably cram one in there without issue.
All right. But they're on the bigger size.
A Lauren, I mean, they're like wine corks mostly. There's a couple that are like cask corks, like pretty big round ones. Here, there's the camera, right? Most of them are like this big, right? They're like,
all right,
like wine bottle corks.
Oh, it's good.
So you could definitely fit the little wine bottles into your ears. Probably John too. Honestly, he's a pretty big guy. Hard to say.
Gonna need some shaving down.
Hard to say about Aloran and Burberry, given that you're not actually sure what their ears actually look like between the mask, the hat, and all the fins. Noelle's will definitely probably need to be like pared down to fit.
All right. Then I will happily slap the gold coin down on the counter and say thank you for your time.
Another one. Thank you, sir. He'll
consider it a tip.
Very kind of you. Best deal I've made tonight. He pockets that and returns to his work.
And then I'm just gonna go walk back over to the table, sit down, put 2 corks in my ears, and just start to shaving.
You sit down just as Burberry is leaning across to Riley and mentions that John is single.
And that's why I got these.
You are effectively deafened now. Good job.
John,
so nice and quiet.
John is deep in his drink, not listening to anything. Definitely not the conversations around him.
Sure.
And yes, I'm just going to get down to whittling.
All right.
Whittling.
So Barnaby just starts paring down cork at the table.
John definitely doesn't have a blush.
Sure. I'd say it's probably a couple more minutes though, not super long. Of you guys kind of sitting and talking before Riley kind of glances back at the bar and says, "I should probably get back to work. It's starting to pick up, but it's heartening to know that you will be meeting with Lee tomorrow. I think she could definitely use the help. So,
Well,
good
thank
luck.
you again for all this.
Of course. And she'll hurry back and disappear, grab her apron, grab her name tag, and get back to serving drinks. So, you have Lead, you have Cork. What do you want to do now?
Shall we
Wait
drink?
for John to stop blushing.
We might be here a while.
John's ears suddenly go red.
No, John, it's fine. It's
What are you doing, Cat?
endearing.
Is
I
that
see
Phoebe?
what you did there.
Did I do
John-
something?
John coughs into his beard.
Beer?
Oof.
You have a beer?
Wasn't
What
it?
just happened?
I said beer.
Oh,
That makes a lot more sense.
don't scare me like that.
She good?
John he grew a beard from drinking the beer.
Must be a
It's just
dwarven
his
beard.
His manliness just got that much more.
Might be a hairball.
Alright. Just realized you were
Do you know there's a beard that actually there's a belt that actually does that? Every
Yes,
morning you roll
dwarven
to see if
beard.
you grow a beard.
It's great.
Magic is a strange and wondrous thing.
It's true.
Yes, it is.
Oh, you heard that.
I don't know if those corks
Yes,
are
it
gonna
is.
work.
Tough cork. Yes, sure it is.
We're gonna get like halfway through. We're gonna find out that Barnaby actually can like read lips.
First thing I crossed off my bucket list when I got here.
All right. Well, I got nothing specific. If we want to go back to the resort.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Unless John wants to try to pick up Riley.
Come on, John, I'll be your wingman. Do this.
I mean, she's very cute.
Does John know what time she gets off work?
John does not know, but he could ask.
That's a great way to start. Well, maybe don't start with that, actually.
John's gonna slink back to the hotel thing, resort thing,
All right.
Aww.
blushing furiously the entire time.
Well, that's all right. At
Not
least
tonight.
That one lay with a Lauren sister.
Not
Was
sister,
her
friend.
best friend.
Just a friend.
Friend, sorry.
Best friend.
He's practically a sister, but
Fair.
not actually. Surin, right? Or Saren.
Saren.
Yeah.
I believe.
Finest lay in Freeport. All right, so back to the resort. Not a terribly difficult thing to do. As you make your way down the street towards the port and begin to kind of circle the bay, you can see the sun is completely set now over the water. It is dark all the way out. You can just kind of faintly see the glimmer of the waves under the stars overhead. You can see that the bulk of town has definitely quieted down come nightfall. Getting close to the harbor, it's almost as active out here as it is back at the brewery. You can see a number of establishments sort of lining the waterfront that have a pretty raucous, noisy clientele. There's hints of music kind of wafting out of these establishments and a lot of shouting. It is very loud, very noisy, slightly smelly. But definitely an active little neighborhood come nightfall. You'll leave that behind you. Make your way onto the sort of coastal road out of town, past the outlying homes and farms, and back towards the North Shore Resort, through the gate, and up to your rooms.
Lauren might go bar hopping.
Bar hopping?
Yeah, like freshen up and then she's gonna go bar hopping.
Oh shit.
Just for kicks and giggles.
Okay.
John's gonna wait an hour and then he's gonna sneak back to the bar that they were just at.
Okay.
Roll a stealth check.
Yeah, do it. What's the rest of the party doing? You want to turn in for the night, or what do you do?
I'm gonna get back to bed and just keep whittling.
All right. Just all these little shreds of cork in your blankets.
John got a 6.
John, you are not very sneaky, and all of you will notice as he, about an hour after you return to the room, kind of very, very obviously like creaks his bedroom door open, and then these really heavy tiptoes across the living room before he gets to the door of the hotel room, and then slams it behind him.
No one noticed anything.
They grow up so quickly.
Very distantly, as he hurries down the stairs.
I think Noel's
Lauren,
gonna be. Oh, sorry, I was gonna say Noel's gonna be lame and probably just turn in for the night.
Sure. Okay.
What about Aloyan?
You were heading back to the port to go bar hopping.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
This might sound a little odd, but are there any deities that their church is open at night?
Give me a religion check.
Yeah.
Let's see what you would know of this matter.
I hope a pretty decent amount. That's kind of my shtick. 17?
17? Okay. I would say there's usually not like a ban necessarily on visiting a shrine at night. Fuck. Excuse me. God damn it.
Papa bless.
Thank you. There's usually not like a hard rule about visiting a shrine at night. If they're usually kind of left unlocked and people are allowed to kind of come in on good faith. Most of the time, however, the attendance is active during the day, and they, the few services that they'll hold, like formal kind of sermons or offerings of that sort, usually will take place during the day, except for a handful of these gods. You know that Ao, who is sort of the goddess of love, she and her shrines typically have services held at twilight. And you also know that Kur, the god of death and trickery. His shrines typically have services fairly close to midnight.
All right. I think I would like to go and do I have any feelings towards Cure? I think I'll go check out one of if there is a sermon that is taking place tonight. I would like to go and watch those proceedings.
Okay, sure. I'll say give me a I'd say investigation check to see if you can find a shrine to this this individual.
At least it's not an @1.
Ooh.
Because you know, investigation's my strong suit.
You're so good at it. What'd you get? 6. Oof. Oof. Yeah, it's gonna be a bit. You're probably wandering around Gladham for like an hour and a half. You check the Shrine of Elise, and it's like, oh, well, of course that one's closed. It's been closed since you arrived. Renovations, as it turns out. You kind of circle the center square, and you don't really see anything related to Kur. And it's pretty much just nothing for the bulk of your search until it finally hits you. Just fuck it. Just ask somebody if anybody out knows anything.
Yeah.
But from there, it's like another half hour before you do finally find someone who's like, Kur. Interesting.
I would like to make sure roll insight on their answer, since Kur is the god of trickery.
That's true. There's a small place in town where his select few chosen gather. You are wanting to see this place, yes?
Yes, if non-select chosen are allowed to observe the proceedings.
It is not so much a matter of secrecy as much courtesy to the rest of the island. They are perhaps a little misunderstanding of our Dark Lord.
Yes, that was the feeling that I got whenever I had a discussion with Father Severin.
Yeah. Who is this?
Right, no, so
Yeah.
what? All Kur worshippers don't touch.
I know. Funny, right?
He expresses, because Severin went on that huge discussion about stuff while.
Oh yeah.
So I'll kind of I'll relay some of the information, like enough to get my point across, but without being pedantic.
Sure. Yep. He, as he's kind of leading you down some side streets, just kind of listens as you explain your experience with his chosen deity, and eventually he says, "Well, I have never met the Severin, but he sounds like an interesting fellow. Certainly the sort of man I would get along with. What is your interesting Kur, I wonder?"
Well, I am a follower of multiple religions, and I am always trying to get more knowledge on the gods as they are being followed, and I go on a full
Sure.
excited about
Just nerd out.
yeah.
He's just kind of like nodding and smiling along. Okay, yeah, sure. Whatever you say.
What am I bringing with me?
Yeah. What did I get into? Oh. Yeah, he'll eventually, as you kind of wind down your little spiel, he'll turn a corner and you'll find yourself kind of stepping off the road into a yard, and sort of between a house and a hedge into sort of the backyard of this home. In what you assume is one of the sort of outlying neighborhoods. You feel like you were kind of walking away from the center of town, probably toward the north side of Gladham.
A long discussion with myself about hoping I'm not about to be mugged.
And yeah, you find yourself stepping before a small group of young elvish men, all of them with very conspicuously dyed black hair. Two of them are wearing very heavy black eyeliner. One of them's got this dark lipstick on, and it none of it's super well done either. It's kind of messy and smudgy. All of them have a beer in their hand, and there's a crate of them sitting on the ground next to them. They're all sort of sitting on these small overturned buckets or wash bins. They've got one bin in front of them that has a small pile of coins and a deck of cards, and behind them you can see this shed where the doors are sort of propped open, and inside there are a smattering of lit candles on the ground, sitting before this stool with a pile of apple cores just moldering there. And you can see they've been there for a while. They are rotten, and there are a handful of bugs and maggots kind of crawling over them.
Okay, so
Says, boys, I have someone here to observe the proceedings.
if that is acceptable, I don't want to get in the way or anything.
No, please. We are always welcoming fresh blood. Would you like a seat? He'll offer a stool to you.
Happily, thank you so much.
The other gothy elves kind of glance at each other and glance to their friend, look over at you, glance back. He's like, it'll be fine. He's a priest. They say, oh. Do you gamble, priest? As he sits down and grabs the deck of cards.
Well, I find that there is a difference between gambling and being good at gambling. I do gamble.
Excellent. He starts shuffling and immediately just starts dealing cards. One of the gothy elves will kind of smirk at that, and he'll pick up one of the beer bottles and hand it to you, or offer it to you, I guess.
I will take it, and I will throw in an offering of a gold piece into their bucket of monies.
So there's a pile of silver and copper on the table, just clink, there's one gold. They're like, oh. Big spender. And yeah, these guys are just fucking sitting in front of this nasty makeshift podunk shrine, just gothed out and playing poker. So
sounds like a good time.
You get the sense pretty quickly into this whole ordeal that these guys are not super a hardcore religious types. They're definitely more on the rebellious teen kind of side of this.
I feel like part of the interest for Burberry would be if the lore was different depending on where you were.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
sure.
So he's not gonna be like, oh, well, this is the way that I've heard it, but he kind of does do
he's
the very
curious to hear.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. I think over the course of the night, playing cards and drinking with these teenagers, you.
Am I going to be that cool stranger?
You are the older stranger who shows up wanting to play cards, and the kids are just like, fuck it, all right. They are not nearly as versed in the lore of Kor as you are, but you do get a sense for sort of the island's relationship, I guess, with the Conclave's gods. These kids think Kur is pretty cool, right? He likes to fuck with people. He likes to be edgy. He likes to do it like as much as possible to get on people's nerves. Like he's really out there, and they appreciate that about him. He's not a psycho, like Basil, who is a war god, and he's not a big mopey baby like Ao is. Kur just seems like he likes to party, he likes to mess around, and they really appreciate that about him. And they don't feel a super strong connection with sort of the local traditions. The way comes up again over the course of your evening with these guys, and they all just seem to think that's just a stupid fairy baby bullshit. They're not really sure why the old elves really give a shit about any of that stuff. Like,
they probably get a laugh because like Burberry opens up his notebook and goes, "Stupid baby bullshit."
Yeah, it's very much it's a very colorful conversation, to say the least.
I think he kind of appreciates that though, because like a lot of opinions are like heavily fettered by, tradition.
Sure, yeah.
And stuff. So having like a looser conversation kind of.
It's definitely probably the most open conversation you've had with any elf in Gladham so far. Like, these kids don't really give a fuck at all. They don't have a lot to actually tell you as far as useful information, but they are more than ready to share an opinion, as uninformed as it is.
Delicious.
So one thing I am going to ask you to do, though, as you drink and play cards with these kids, I need you to make some skill checks for me, if you'd be so kind. I need you to make an insight check, a deception check, and an intimidation check.
Okay, insight is 12.
Okay.
Deception is a nat 20.
12, 20. Okay.
A nat 20, so totals to... Yeah, 20.
Okay. 12,
and
20.
what's the last one?
Intimidation.
I am not very intimidating. I'm way too friendly and drinking for that, so that's a 3.
3, oof. All right. So, 12 on the first one.
Mm-hmm.
You will meet the DC, which meets it, beats it. Second check. That was a nat 20, you said?
Yep. The mask does wonders.
Unfortunately,
What?
the DC for this one was a 21.
Oof.
16 plus 5.
That's right.
Yeah, just shy of it. So that is a failure. And on the intimidation check, which was a 3, definitely failing. That is going to be another 21. So Burberry, you are going to lose a little bit of money here.
I was very clear about where I was standing when I walked.
Yep. You dropped that gold immediately. I'll say by the end of that night, you have lost effectively 5 silver.
Cool with it. It's
okay. But despite the very sort of overly dark and sort of theatrical mood that these guys are trying to kind of conjure, like it's a very low-key little gathering, and they're just kind of fucking around, smoking, drinking, and playing cards. Nothing untoward happens to Burberry in his night alone. You are safe and will make it back to the resort early in the morning unharmed. John, we're gonna work our way back. Yes. You were heading back to the Copes, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, returning, it is still a hoppin', busy place. Perhaps even busier as the night has worn on. The bar is full. Many tables are claimed, and there is a strong, pungent smell of beer on the air. What are you wanting to do here, buddy?
Is she still working?
Yep, she is still here.
Is there like an actual bar?
Yeah. There is a big, long bar with lots of casks and bottles lining the shelves behind you, or behind it.
Is there any openings at the bar?
You could kind of squeeze in. There's not an open chair, but you can definitely kind of lean in. You're a big guy. You can kind of push your way through.
Okay. I will head up to the bar and I guess wait till she notices me or order a drink depending on which comes first.
Yeah, sure. Not an issue. Oh, this is not working. It's a moment before she will if it like kind of touch base and see, oh, John, you've returned, and she'll kind of hurry over as soon as she's finished with their current customer and kind of lean up on the counter and blush just a little bit. What brings you back to the copse? Your friends turned in for the night.
My friends were being a little nosy.
Nosy how?
Bit embarrassing. I was wondering if you were free at all later tonight.
Oh. Were you? She'll blush a little bit. What makes you ask, Mr. John?
I just found you very interesting.
Interesting. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check for me.
The DC is 1.
How does a 21 do?
You know, John, when you say that, you kind of the pecs flare a little bit, the biceps swells, just that little pop of muscle.
The giant blush across the entire face.
Yeah, you're beet red, but you're also ripped and handsome. So she's kind of.
Does your blush also extend to your ears?
Ooh,
Yes.
That's cute. She kind of blushes in return, and kind of starts giggling. She kind of has a moment where she can't fully collect herself to answer. But after recovering, she'll kind of gather herself, be like, I will confess, I have never been called interesting before. I think perhaps I might like it. I get off at midnight tonight, so if you are still around, perhaps we can get a drink or something.
I'd like that.
All right then, I would too. Don't go anywhere. And yeah, she will get back to work, but very pointedly shoots you a look every now and then, flushes a little bit, and then returns to serving drinks. And what are you doing over the course of the next couple hours here? Because she's still on the
Drinking
clock for a
lightly,
while.
trying not to get sloshed.
All right, so pacing yourself. Okay. And just kind of holding your position to the bar. You do notice over the course of the night, there are a couple of younger elves who will also kind of lean up and try to pull the same move. You could tell, just the body language in the distance, even if you can't hear them. They're schmoozing, they're trying. But every time, she kind of just glances back over at you. You kind of glance back to her.
I blush red.
The younger, smaller man looks over at the giant half-orc on the bar and just, never mind, takes a big drink, and without another word will just walk away.
Hope that she uses him as I can't, my boyfriend's here.
And they do not argue. And yeah, after a couple hours of this, she will eventually head back into the back room and reemerge on the other side of the counter. No apron, no name tag, and kind of sidle up next to you at the bar. So, what are we drinking?
I don't know. What do you recommend? You know this place the best.
Well, I am partial to the meat myself, but you seem like you like things a little taller and stronger. Mead.
Oh,
Slip of the tongue.
to be honest, I don't actually drink that often.
Really?
This is probably the most I've drunk in a long time.
You handle yourself very well. Can I buy you a drink, Mr. John?
It would be my pleasure.
Barkeep. Oh wait, that's me. She'll hoist herself up onto the bar, swivel across it, and stand up behind the bar. Immediately grab a couple tankards, pour you guys some glasses, and jump the bar again. Return to her spot next to you. Clink your glass. Say, well, thank you for this drink, Mr. John, and begin to partake. So, what's the play here, John? What are you trying to do here? You want to seal this deal?
I think we all know what.
Are we just trying to make friends? Are we trying to lay the groundwork for something longer term? How do you want to?
We're trying to steal the deal.
All right, sure. I'll say give me a basic charisma check.
Oh,
We'll see how this evening goes.
Luckily, I rolled okay. That's a 18.
18. Okay. So, over the course of the evening, probably like another hour or so, you talk, flirt, drink. And Riley, while she seems interested, she also seems nervous, and she keeps pouring drinks. And by the next hour, she's getting to a point where she's starting to look a little sloshed, like kind of stumbling over her words, can't quite stand up straight. Very giggly, very happy to be here, but definitely very, very drunk.
How far is the beach from where we're at?
You guys are like at the center of town right now. And yeah, she after a certain point almost falls into you. She's like, I Mr. John, I think I may have overdone it just a bit. Do you think perhaps you could walk me home? I'm not sure I could walk myself.
Of course.
And yeah, taking her out of the bar. It is a Herculean effort for her to walk in a straight line. You kind of have to hold her like by the shoulder and make your way out into the night down the road. And as you're walking, she's very much apologetic. She's like, I am very sorry about this. I think perhaps I may have gotten a little in my head. You know, it's been a while for me, if I can be perfectly honest with you.
It's been a while for me as well.
You have held it together much, much better than me.
I'm just very good at hiding my nerves.
Not so much. I hope you can forgive me if I perhaps call a rain check tonight.
Of course.
I'm about to pass out. I'm okay. And just immediately just empties her stomach like off the curb.
Hold her hair back out of the way.
You know, cough and spit. And she's like, oh, that's not how I wanted the night to go. I'm so sorry. Okay. Well, this is my house. Thank you. Sorry you had to see that.
You have a good night.
I'm going. Thank you. Good night. She'll totter her way up the stairs, fiddle with her key, and shoot you a small, sheepish kind of wave from the door. Her gaze kind of lingers for a moment before she kind of turns inside and shuts it behind her. I'm so sorry, dude. That AC or that DC came out just like too higher.
I was gonna go drown in sorrows in the ocean.
Oh, you can't do that anymore, though. You can breathe underwater.
His sorrows, not himself.
Sure. So, do you want to go to the harbor, or do you want to go back to the resort and take a swim? Okay, that's fair. It's probably cleaner up there.
Yeah.
Sure. And yeah, John will make his way back through town towards the harbor, veering off towards the outskirts, making his way back to the resort. Lauren, getting back to you. So, long before John ever walks his Lady Boo home, you decided to go bar hopping.
Yeah.
So, having cleaned yourself up and sort of washed off a lot of the spider grime and blood and gore from the fighting this afternoon, make your way downtown along the waterfront. And you've got your pick of bars here. You can see the very large, prominent Wet House. This is an establishment that is sort of 3 bars, it looks like, that had been neighbors at one point, and their establishments have just sort of grown into each other and melded into one giant monstrosity. There's a massive mismatch of decor in their taverns that have, the adjoining walls have been knocked out and the bars interconnected. This is the biggest tavern on the block, but there's also, a number of smaller establishments as well, if you're wanting to just kind of like juke down the line.
I'll go to one of the bigger ones.
Okay.
The one that seems like people are having the most fun.
Funny enough, it's the Wet House.
Perfect.
Yeah, it is easily the busiest establishment on the waterfront here. Very diverse crowd out here as well. As you kind of make your way through the front gate into sort of the outer sitting area, you see all sorts of people. You see humans, half-orcs, dwarves, a handful of halflings, and other halflings. Gnomes, that's what those are. Just wide variety of people, much more diverse than anything you've seen in sort of central Gladham. You got a kitty? Yup. And yeah, you want to make your way up to the bar? Do you want to find a game or something happening? What's the play here? What do you want to do?
I'm gonna go get a drink.
Okay.
I'm just gonna kind of see what's going on and like what's all happening in this bar. What are people doing?
Okay. There's a lot. You can see off to kind of actually both ends of the bar are far enough apart that there are 2 bands playing at either end of this establishment. Kind of walking in sort of the central archway, you can kind of very faintly make out 2 distinct tunes. One's got like a metal drum that's kind of ringing out over the lute and the singer. The other one is it sounds predominantly like woodwinds and horns.
Are there people dancing?
There's a lot of movement over there. It's crowded though. It's hard to say if it's dancing or fighting. There's a lot of bodies.
We'll head that way.
Okay.
Both are good.
Yep. We'll see what's happening.
Are we going towards the steel drum or towards the horns?
Towards the horns.
The horns. All right, cool. It's a very lively, very jazzy little band. And yeah, there's definitely some dancing going on once you kind of push through the crowd.
Mm.
Again, very diverse group.
I'll just start dancing. I'll just join the crowd dancing.
Just jump into it. Fuck it.
Start
Going for it.
Yep.
Yeah. Aloran dances. What do you want to do after you're done dancing?
Drink. I'm just having fun, okay?
Sure,
we're just going. We're
just
partying.
fucking around.
Yeah,
All
she's just fucking
right.
around.
All right. Yeah. You head up to the bar, get yourself a drink. I will say something that will probably jump out at you as you are sort of standing, waiting for your drink, looking at the bartenders. There is a changeling among their midst that looks very similar to Noelle. Pale skin, dark eyes, long, kind of almost ghostly white hair that she has kind of cut very short. She has like this very curly, bushy kind of bob almost.
Mm-hmm.
And she, as you're kind of waiting for a drink, she kind of makes her way over. She says, "Everything all right there, darling?"
Say that again.
I said, "Is everything all right there, darling?
Yes.
You good tonight?
Yes.
Have you been served yet?"
Is this the changeling talking to me?
This is the changeling, yeah.
Okay. I'll be like, yeah, I've been doing good. Yeah, I could get another drink.
Good, yeah. Well, what can I get you then?
Surprise me.
They always fucking say that. She'll turns back and just walks like 2 feet, grabs a bottle, and just grabs a glass, hands it to you. It looks and smells like whiskey.
Ew.
Yeah. So, what brings you to Gladham?
Island hopping? Huh?
Island hopping?
Yeah.
First island or
This is the first
latest
island.
in the string? Well, suppose you'll be seeing a good bit of the Isles before long then, aren't you?
That's the game plan.
Yeah. Have fun. It gets pretty crazy the further out from the coast you get, so be careful, right?
Okay. And
Although
then
you look like you can handle yourself. Just kind of glance at your sword.
maybe just a little bit.
Just a little bit. All right. Well, listen, I'm Fennel, so if you need anything else,
Fennel?
come find me. Yes.
Is that spelled like fennel?
No.
Okay.
Fennel. Finelle.
He's a femme finale.
And then I'll bring up that I actually have a friend that almost looks exactly like her.
Do you now?
Ooh.
That's interesting. I haven't seen another of my kind in quite some time. Unless she's just particularly fair.
And you guys are like real close.
Well, hey, you should bring her by tomorrow if you've got some time. I'd be curious to hear from another changeling. It's been quite a while.
I can do that.
I'd like that. What was your name again, dear?
Aloran.
Aloran. Well, Aloran. Welcome to the Wet House. If there's anything that I can get you, you don't hesitate to ask. Hey! Off the chandelier! And immediately fucking darts away. And you can see there's like a hand, like a fucking like a monkey's ladder of gnomes just like swinging from a chandelier, like 5 stools down.
Aloran cheers them on.
Don't encourage them.
I'm sorry, it looks like so much fun.
Well, well, well. You hear a very familiar voice from behind you.
Is it the guy?
Is it the guy?
Is it the guy?
Is
that
it
starts with
this
an-
guy?
Is it an A? Oh god, I'm brain farting real bad, man.
I'm a little hurt. I thought you might remember my name. I
Oh wait.
thought
Give me
we
a
parted
second.
on better terms than that.
No wait, give me a second. I've had a few drinks.
I know you got it. Come
Oh
on.
my god, where is
I
it?
know it. I remembered your name just fine.
Arlong.
Arlon?
Killing me.
Huh?
Adla.
Adlar. Oh god,
Adla.
I was wrong. I kind of said my name, but in a funny way.
I said Arlong as in like,
Yeah, it
You-
sounds like almost like a Lauren, but like the words.
Wound me. I love
I'm
it.
sorry, Adlar.
It feels like it's been so long.
I think the most you could do at this point to make it up to me. Fill my cup.
What?
I could use another drink.
I need another drink? Yeah.
I need another drink.
Okay,
After
let's go
that,
get drinks.
Let's get another drink, please. Barkeep.
Wait, how many in deep is it, Lauren, at this point?
I would say she's probably had like 3 or 4.
Sure.
Is this the point where she starts making concept?
Has it all been whiskey?
One of them was.
One of them was.
Okay, well, just one.
The first one was probably. The first few were probably just like regular kind of drinks.
Okay.
Sure.
Just like
But then she got surprised.
a beer. And then my surprise was whiskey.
More
and I
ways
was
than
like,
one.
Yeah, right.
Well, I confess I was a little worried I would not see you again. You disappeared after we last spoke.
Yeah, we had some.
How have you been?
So we had some jobs. They were fun.
Better than what I was offering then.
Yours was definitely easier.
It looks it. Forgive me for saying so, but you look like you've taken a couple of hits.
These are just scratches. Near death scratches.
I imagine they were worse before you cleaned up.
Fair. That's a fair assessment. We're actually looking for you, funny enough.
Were you now?
Yes.
Have we finished our more pressing business? You have time for poor old Adler. You know, Janik still hasn't paid me.
I know.
I'm so distraught.
If you're so distraught, here, let me get you another drink, and we can make that distraught go away a little bit.
I would appreciate it, actually. Thank you. That's very kind of you.
Do you want like a whiskey?
You know, I'm more of a sour guy. Yeah.
You like to pucker it, and then she'll do like a really stupid pucker face. Just because she can.
You know, I like to think I handle mine a little better, but I like the bite of it.
The
You know?
tang.
It's
Okay.
nice. It's good. Yeah, I'll take one of those.
Okay.
So
I'll go
Get
order
some more
what
drinks.
he wanted from the bar.
sure. So, what is it that you have come to me for then? If you are not looking for more work,
Okay, out of character. This is just a clarification of the party, so I'm on the same page. We were seeking Adlar to go so that he could take us through the woods to find where like the smoke was coming out of the mountain.
Potentially. I think the first goal was to just pick his brain and just be like, hey, do you even know what's up there? Whatever it was it north of the camp? I don't remember where we saw the smoke.
I believe
it
it was-
would have been east of the camp.
East of the camp?
He's- okay.
So just ask, and I think we did determine it was like, we estimated like 6 miles or something like that east of the camp. So just like, if he knows anything, probably be a good place to start. And then if he's familiar with the area, then perhaps we could have him help us or something. I
We
don't know.
don't want a job from you, but we have a job for you.
I know that the more we want him to help us, it's probably going to start costing us money at a certain point. So
We're favors.
Yeah.
questions first.
It was just questions about we were in a mine dealing with a lot of spiders. That's where we just came from.
Ah, you took the
And-
Epico job.
Yeah, and then we had to burn all the
Yeah.
eggs.
That sounded like a lot of work, so
Oh.
I said no.
Oh, it was. I think-
But you've come out okay then. You are in one piece. I presume your friends are all right. You do not
Yeah.
seem so distraught that someone may have died recently.
Yeah, no, they're just back at the inn relaxing.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad to hear it. It would have been a crying shame.
We figured out like there was a plum of smoke from the burning that was about like 7-ish miles from the camp of the mine. So we were just gonna pick your brain and see like if there was what's over in that area, if you had any idea.
You think I know of this jungle? Well, you're not wrong. I've done some work with Donin and his miners before. I did some scouting around their camp just to ensure it was safe enough to settle and reinforce. The jungle out that way, though, I have not explored very thoroughly myself. I would presume it is not unlike most of the outlying jungle. It was going to be thick undergrowth, probably fairly rocky, close to the mountain. Not exactly a 1-hour hike. You know, this is going to be an ordeal to reach.
Is it very dangerous?
If you are not careful, certainly. Much more so at night, I should add as well. You're dealing with a lot of nocturnal predators out there. During the day, maybe wild boar, maybe snakes, maybe large lizards, you know. There are some more dangerous things that live in the dark. You might need to be careful of.
Just don't travel at night. Got it.
Definitely avoid the jungle at night.
Okay.
There are jaguars. There are bigger jaguars.
I would actually love to see a jaguar. Like really bad, actually.
You might see differently if one finds you first.
No, because I can see it, and then I can turn into one, and then it will be like 2 jaguars versus 1 jaguar.
You can turn into a jaguar.
I think so.
Is that a fact?
I can turn into a bear. That's a fact.
How many of these have you had already? I have had 2 with you so far.
You don't believe me? You don't believe I can turn into animals?
That is certainly a claim.
Okay, what's your favorite animal? That's kind of small.
What's your favorite animal that's less than a CR?
Yes,
and it can't fly.
1.
Okay, turn into a dragon if you are so cool.
No, I said something small.
Okay, a small dragon.
Okay, I can't do that one.
See?
No,
I can turn into
just turn into a lizard.
Oh,
I was gonna say like a bearded dragon.
Okay, I'm gonna turn into a monkey, and I'm just gonna like climb on him, and go ooh, ah, ah, and just start fucking with them a little.
Oh shit! Ow! Oh, okay, yeah. No, that's my hair. Stop.
Not just. No, I'm not like yanking it hard. I'm just kind of like, like light little.
Okay. I get it. You're a monkey. Sorry, I did not believe you.
Ooh. And then she'll turn back into a person.
Hey, no pets in the bar.
That is quite a trick. So you can do any animal thing, not just a jaguar or a monkey.
I can do some. I have to see them. Pretty much anything in the water I can turn into. But land animals,
I suppose I could probably see where that comes from. Yeah. You know, with the whole
I can turn into a shark.
I dare you to fucking do it here.
What?
Do it.
Do it?
Do it right now. No, you know what? Can you do like the monkey and get up there and then do the shark?
I have already used the monkey. I can only do it like a couple times per day.
Oh, the
But
limits. So disappointing. Okay. How about you just like go up to the balcony there, 2nd floor, and just like jump and shock? Can you do that? Just
I don't want to hurt anybody.
It'll be fine. It'll be fucking hilarious. I I guess you could just like shark right here, you know. It's fine. No big deal. Just sharks flop in the floor.
Do you really want to see a shark that bad?
I would love to see a shark.
Okay, what do I get if I turn into a shark?
What do you want?
I don't know. It's gotta be something.
Okay. I got some coin. Do you want coin?
Yeah, sure, fuck it.
Alright, yeah. He drops a few silver on the table. Show me a
Okay.
shark.
I just turn into a shark.
What kind of because there are different sizes, and a nurse shark is different than an orca.
An orca is not a shark.
I'll say a tiger shark because they look fucking cool.
Alright. So are you like on the table or the floor or in your chair still? Like how do you do this? What happens? Paint me the picture.
Just like
Is there
still
any-
seated in the
Shark
chair.
picture.
Is there any spot in this bar where the floor is really wet because of like alcohol, and she can just kind of like slip and slide as a shark through the bar?
It's probably pretty wet in a lot of places. There's definitely been enough spilled drinks that there's a kind of a sticky underfoot situation happening.
So she's gonna slip and slide through like where there's like a kind of like a space. There's a space between people. So
Okay.
Oh man, someone's gonna have a story for later.
So, Lauren, I guess you like stand
actually,
up.
wait, no. I'm gonna go disappear into the crowd, and then I'm gonna slip and slide at him. I changed my
It's
mind.
like, where are you going? Oh, okay, all right. I guess I just sit here and wait. There's a poof, and this kind of collective outcry from the midst of this crowd, like, oh fuck! All these people suddenly jumping out of the way as this like 7-foot-long shark goes sliding across the floor, under tables, knocking chairs over, and comes to rest at his like the tip of his boot. Just vacant eye staring up at him. Holy shit.
I'll like flap my fins a little bit.
You do like the seal thing that.
Oh yeah.
You know that thing where they just slap their sides?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like slap.
Okay, sure, yeah. He's just like, fucking bravo. That's some shit. I've never seen that before.
So she'll turn back into a.
There's a whole crowd of people right now staring, just FYI. Like, they're all just looking over at this fucking shark laying on the ground. They're like, is that yours?
How did the shark get in here?
The shark just whoomp back into a girl. They're like, what the fuck? It's collective disbelief.
And then I'll like bend over and I'll start bowing in front of the people around for my slip and slide performance.
There's like some confused applause, like, okay. And then like a handful of dudes in the back are just like, yeah! Fucking pump their tankards. And that kind of gets the mood of the bar kind of picking up again, and people are just kind of like, oh, it's fucking, did you see that fucking shark, dude? Oh my god. Right? You kind of take your seat back with Adlar. He's just like, I confess, I did not believe you. Forgive me. The silver is yours. So, your friends then, they are planning to make a trip out to this smokestack, you said.
I think so.
You're looking
Depending
for
on the danger level, we're kind of debate on it, you know.
What are you hoping to accomplish out here?
We were hoping to kill any of the spiders that like vacated the tunnel, so they didn't go back, and then we still have more shit to take care of.
Well, if you smoke them out, there's a good chance they are probably not going to come back. But I suppose better safe than sorry. About these spiders, question: they big spiders?
There's a mix. There's like big spiders, then there's like spider people things, and then
I don't know.
the whole thing. Everything was sticky.
What kind of spider people with the? They like Yay big, you know.
No, they were
Kinda
smaller
hairy.
than me. Very hairy. They had like little pincer faces.
Scrawny little guys, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I've seen them before. Chitons, they're called.
What are they called?
Chitons.
Titans?
Yes. Very, very nasty little guys. Also, these live in the woods. I do not see them often, but they are more active at night. And I do not hunt at night. So,
Yeah,
you know.
well, we know that they eat people. So.
This does not surprise me.
Yeah.
I have seen their webs deeper in the jungles. They will set large nets up in the trees. They catch birds, monkeys, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
It's very bad. I'm sure they would eat a man if they could get a hold of one.
Well.
They don't seem like the kind to discriminate, you know.
Nope.
You're lucky they never learned how to fish.
I would just eat them because I'm a shark.
Well, you would be safe, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
Your friends maybe not so much.
Nah, they'll be fine. Except for Burberry, he doesn't look water.
Well,
Burberry's just like in the middle of a card game. He's just
shivers. Well, best of luck to you on your journey. I hope it is a fruitful one.
Do you
Whatever
mind
you
if,
hope to accomplish.
I bring my friends to talk to you tomorrow? Because I'm mildly inebriated, so I'm probably missing a lot of questions that they have.
Only mildly. Sure. Well, I'm not opposed by any means. I just kind of thinks to himself. I think perhaps if we meet early enough, you know, I would not have an issue waiting around to answer some questions.
Where could we meet you at?
The least I could do. I could meet you here, if you like. Seems fairly close.
Okay.
It's a little quieter in the morning, though, so should not be nearly as difficult to find me.
I would assume so, yes.
Sure.
And then what time to meet you at?
Earlier is better. I have a late night ahead of me, so I think I am going to be spending tomorrow getting some sleep.
Got it. Understood.
Sure. Well, to you and your friends, success, right?
Hopefully. Clink.
Clink.
Drink.
Drink. And yeah. Anything else you guys want to do while you're here? You want to keep hanging with Adlar, or do you want to
Yeah, sure. Fuck it.
get out there and dance and drink and hit some other bars? What do you want to do?
I'll like go and do my own thing, and then occasionally I'll like check back in with him, and then I'll go do my own thing. And then
Just kind of swing back and forth.
yeah.
Okay. I'd say after parting ways with him, you touch base maybe like 20 minutes later, kind of like reconvene at the bar, just kind of settle up next to him, get a drink. The next time you go looking for him, though, you will not be able to find him.
Okay. That's fine.
Just kind of glancing around, it looks like he seems to have left.
Okay. Then I'll just like finish up the night and then just head back.
Okay, sure. As you wrap up, midnight, 1 o'clock? What are you thinking?
Yeah, 1 o'clock probably.
Okay. Fairly late night out drinking, partying. You'll probably cross paths with John on his way back from walking Riley home.
Okay, I'm gonna go up to John and be like, "You slide off."
We have no idea.
John, on your way. Lauren actually wouldn't. I think she left before John did.
Oh, okay.
She knows.
John's
She
just,
knows.
John's just gonna give like a sad, disappointed kind of sigh. Just keep trudging towards the ocean.
You sure you don't want to? Do you want a shot? Alcohol helps.
Alcohol's the problem.
Oh,
Oh.
do you want to smoke some weed?
No,
From
I'm
like
good.
from somewhere down like below your peripheral vision, like a tiny hand shoots up with a joint.
I feel like I'm slowly starting to understand the Aloran flowchart. Alcohol, if not alcohol, weed.
If not weed, sad.
All of them lead to sad at the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh.
The start of the flowchart. The start of the flowchart is awake.
Yeah,
Yes,
wake up.
no. And then after that, fight. Yes, no.
And then after that, drink weed.
Either way, it leads to drinking weed.
Sure. Yeah.
I'll ask John if he wants company. If not, I will go back to my room and go to bed.
I'm just gonna go drown my loneliness.
Would you like a companion?
Would you like a friend to drown your loneliness?
I can breathe underwater. If you need to just hold somebody's head underwater, I won't drown. Might feel good.
Damn, that's fucking weird.
Aloran drunk.
John just pats Lauren's head. I'll be fine.
All right. Cool. And then she starts getting sad.
You guys kind of together, sadly, mope your way out of town, back up the outskirt road towards the resort, and John makes his way out to the beach, where he stands as the waves lap against his shins, staring out over the moonlit sea, hair blowing in the wind, alone.
Somehow unintentionally striking a pose like Fabio.
And Lauren makes her way back up to her room and collapses into a large pile of fluffy pillows and a comfortable mattress. So, is there anything else we want to do tonight, or shall we proceed to the morning?
Farming.
John will eventually go back into his room and fall asleep.
Sure. All right. This seems like a good place to take our break. So 10 minutes. We'll be back at 10 and resume from there.
Okay.
All right, back at it. First thing in the morning, everyone wakes up, full hit points, all abilities restored. Yay! So John, Lauren, probably a little foggy, little dry mouth when you wake up. Y'all were partying hardy. But beyond that, a restful night at the resort. So meeting over breakfast, or do you even meet over breakfast? Do you just kind of convene in...
I mean, we'll take our continental breakfast.
Well, sure.
Throw a muffin at us.
But I guess I should ask, Lauren, are you going to wake up the party early so you can go meet with Adlar
Yes,
sooner than later, or...
that would be my game.
Wait,
plan,
did he want to
yes.
meet early or later? Because he said he had a late
He wanted
night.
to meet earlier. He said he was going to have a late night and he wanted to sleep the next morning. So
And he wants to meet early in the morning?
yeah, so that he can go to bed.
Oh, he's not going. I see. He didn't go to bed.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He was not planning on it until the
Who
morning.
didn't go to bed?
Adlar.
So, I guess grabbing some food to go. Then we'll hurry down to Gladham, in Port Scepter, and Lauren will be able to lead you guys to the Wet House, which is a pretty hard to miss establishment. And yeah, sitting out in the courtyard.
Sure.
You will see Adlar clutching a glass and looking pretty tired. Definitely hunched, kind of dirty, dark circles under his eyes. And Lauren, I think you'll probably notice that there is just the very beginnings of a bruise beginning to form on his left cheek.
There's a bruise on him.
It's like just starting to yellow. Like it's pretty sizable, but it's still faint. You get a sense it's probably gonna get pretty dark looking.
Okay.
Oh, would you like me to fix that?
No, I'm fine. This is everyone then.
Yes.
Well, good to see all of you. I think I've met a couple of you already before. Kind of looks over across the table. So, Lauren told me last night that you were perhaps planning to make a trip out into the jungle, trying to find this second hole the spiders lived in.
We were thinking about it, for sure.
Sure. Well, she said you might have some questions. I said I might have some answers. So, what do you want to know?
Well, we don't want to take up too much of your time.
I appreciate it. I am exhausted.
Is exhaustion a condition?
Not like that.
No, I'm asking out of character.
Relieving exhaustion takes more than lesser restoration, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure you need a greater restoration.
It's
to
greater
relieve
restoration, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we, I guess partially just wanted to know if there was any information about that area that existed, about 6 miles east of the mining encampment. Any maps, if anyone's ever scouted it.
Well, I don't know about maps or if anyone has been out there. That's something of a tall question. It's wilderness. It's somewhat remote. And as I told Lauren this night, I have scouted the jungles around the camp just to make sure it was safe, before they started any permanent building in the area.
Right.
But I've never ventured that far north. I tend to hunt primarily in the central jungles of the island. But I did warn her, you are likely looking at jungle predators native to the island. Jaguars, boars, snakes, lizards. As you have encountered, chitons and giant spiders. So
Did
it is not
Lauren tell
exactly
you?
a hospitable area.
Did Lauren tell you everything about what we were doing?
She mentioned that you had taken the job with Deep Echo Mine, which
Correct.
I did not envy. But it seems like you came out all right, which is good to see.
Well, we still have to scout it once, but we're mostly done, I think.
Well, that is heartening.
Do you know anything about these creatures? Anything? There's the giant spiders, and you said chitons?
Yes,
and then these large
the
centaur-like
spider-men.
ones?
Those are called chodrith.
Chodrith.
Choldrith. Yes, they are related creatures. Primarily, as I understand, native to the underground. They prefer caverns, deep jungle. I have not tangled with them much myself, but I have seen evidence of their activity in the jungles during my own hunts. They will spread webs, very large ones, across canopies between trees. They will catch all kinds of creatures. And I will come back a couple of days later. The webbing is gone. The creatures are gone. Presumably hauled back to whatever they call home. They do not seem to be active during the day, but I would imagine that means they are very active at night. I would highly discourage any expeditions that will leave you camping out there. It is precarious, even for a group this size. And there are darker things that lurk out there. I would not want anyone to cross paths with.
Have you ever had any encounter with these darker things?
I may have. I think. It's hard to say. It was very dark.
That's about as hopeful of an answer as I expected.
Well, as I say, these jungles are not exactly the safest place. So, if you are determined to head out there, make sure you give yourself enough time to get home.
How long do you think it would take to actually get that far in the jungle? Assuming relatively unexplored area, then.
Without a trail or any experience in wayfinding, I think you might be looking at a tight crunch to get out there. Time-wise, if you do not have a lot of experience yourself navigating the jungles, it could be a toss-up whether or not you make it home by dark. It does not sound far, but I assure you, with the undergrowth, and especially the terrain under that mountain, you're going to be walking for a very long time.
Okay, we will keep that in mind. I don't have any more questions.
Well, if that is everything, best of luck. I'm going to go get some sleep.
Please do.
It is certainly needed. Good luck. Raises his glass, finishes it, chunk, and gives you a little salute before he moseys out the front gate and down the pier.
Cool.
Off to Lee's house, right? I think.
think so.
Yeah, gonna go Lee. All right, sure. With the address in hand, you guys make your way back towards the square, and peel off a couple blocks before you reach the Shrine of Elise. It's not too far from the main thoroughfare. It's maybe like a block down this side road. You reach a corner home, it's single story, with like a little wraparound porch, and you can see through the fence, which is it's not so much like a hard like tall fence as much as it is one of those like kind of little just kind of picket fences that are kind of set up to kind of contain the yard. It's a quaint little place that this Lee's got here. She's got a nice sized garden, big kind of overgrown flower beds. It's not super well organized, but it's very colorful, lots of flowers. And kind of behind the house in the backyard, there is a very large second building. It's too big to be a shed, really. It looks almost like kind of like a smith's cottage in a way. It's kind of you get like the little open air area kind of outside with an overhang that kind of shades it, as well as the little interior workshop next to it. Lots of very large, sturdy logs kind of piled up next to this work area. And you can see standing outdoors, kind of amidst a pile of wood shavings, there is a half-finished sculpture, a log that has been kind of set on its end, standing up. It's about 7 feet tall, and just has like the face and the shoulders of a female figure very roughly carved out of it. Like the details still aren't fully there yet, but you can see, the beginnings of a nose, kind of the eye sockets were beginning to get kind of carved out, kind of the flowing hair, has these kind of rough, heavy tendrils. The actual hair hasn't really been detailed yet, but the rest of it is just rough hewn wood, and it's just sitting there surrounded by wood shavings.
Does the fence open? Is it open?
Yeah, there's not even a gate. It's just, there's an opening. You could just walk up the little path up to the front door of the house if you wanted.
Go knock on the door.
All right, so and after a moment, you will hear one moment, please. A little while later, door unlatches and opens up, and you see a tan skin, kind of sun-bleached, dirty blonde hair that is kind of tied up in this braid that kind of encircles the head. A young woman, freckle-faced and kind of bright-eyed, clutching a small steaming cup of coffee, kind of looks out at you all. She says, hello.
Hi, are you
Who
Lee?
might you all be? I am.
We were sent here by Riley. We thought we maybe could help you with some heirlooms.
Oh, you are the outsiders. You you're looking to you want to help out?
I think we'd like
Okay.
to.
Sure. Yeah. Why don't you She kind of looks around. Why don't you come in? Here. I actually just made a pot if you have not had your coffee yet this morning.
Well, thank you much.
It's a very important part to start your day.
I would agree with that. So, she'll lead you inside. It's not a huge house, but it is very, very like crowded with small wooden sculptures, kind of interspersed between the furniture, the corners of the room. There's all these little statuettes, animals, humanoid figures. There's like flights of birds, kind of perched on little carved trees, as well as these like ornately painted masks kind of hanging on all the walls. She looks like she does a lot of work. Like, there's a lot.
Did you do all of these?
Yes. I don't really have like a lot of downtime, I guess you call it. Just I like to keep my hands busy, you know. So
It's all very
always.
useful.
Thank you. So, you've heard from Riley about the theft. And
Yeah.
she's pouring glasses for you guys to.
Did Riley tell you anything about talking to us? You seemed surprised by our arrival.
Well, she mentioned a few days ago that some folks had come by asking about helping out around town, and that was the last I heard of it. So I was not expecting anyone to come by, really. But I'm glad you did. I hope you have enjoyed your time here so far in Gladham. It's a nice town.
The times in Gladham have been lovely.
Good. Well, so I'm Riley. I'm sure I told you some of the problem. I'm missing tools.
Right.
My tools are gone. I like the whole kit. Everything is gone. I have looked everywhere for them. I know they're not here. I have checked everywhere, in the workshop, in the house, under the house. They're gone, you know. And I don't take them anywhere. I don't travel with them. So they were taken off the property somehow. But I can't work. I can't work without them. I need those, you know. They're very important and precious.
When was the last time you used them?
It was almost 2 weeks ago now. I have not been able to do much without them. I won't lie. It's getting a little maddening, you know.
That's understandable. Do you know anything about any suspicions of where they might have gone? Have you talked to anyone else?
Well, kind of glances out the window. You know, I asked my neighbors perhaps if they had seen anything. You know, folks around here, they're not really keen to open up to outsiders so much. They don't want people to see troubles at home. But
We've noticed.
to be honest with you, there's been a spatter of disappearances around town. It's been happening to a lot of people, as I'm hearing. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know who would do such a thing, or how, for that matter. Nobody can make heads or tails of it.
Disappearances like people going missing, or just things?
No. Things.
Oh, okay.
Items, possessions. valuables, vanishing from homes, businesses, Some folks have lost quite a bit of coin. We are not sure exactly what to do about it,
All right. I guess, have you talked to anyone else who's had this happen to them? Has anyone seen anything? Do you know?
Well, that's the thing. No. To answer shortly, no. That's the confounding thing, right? There is like nothing to see. Here, I will show you. She'll kind of lead you out the back door of the house and out to the workshop. And as she approaches, she'll kind of like start pointing around. She's like, so look, it's like the windows, nothing's broken, right? All of the latches intact, nothing forced, nothing jimmied. The lock, perfectly fine. She unlocks the door to the shed and kind of pushes it open. It's like there is nothing here broken, as though someone kicked the door in, but the toolkit should be right there. She points under the table. There's some crates and lots of like half-finished projects hanging around, but there is like one kind of conspicuously open spot underneath one of the workbenches that could conceivably house like a sizable little toolbox. It's like it should be right there, and he's gone. And I don't know how they got in. I don't know how they got it out. I don't understand what happened. It's maddening, and it's been the same with everyone I talk to. Nothing broken. Nothing forced open. It's just gone.
What was the first... I was going to say, what was the first time you heard about anything like this happening?
I did not start hearing until my own things went missing,
Okay.
Started asking around and hearing these stories. So, the earliest disappearance, I think, was maybe a month ago, from what I have heard. But again, I did not know until my own things disappeared. So now, here we are.
Did you have a question, Burberry?
Well, I was going to ask, and this does seem a little bit unrelated, I promise it is. Are you very good at drawing before you start carving?
Not really, no. I tend to more just sort of go where the woods takes me. You have like a picture in your mind of what you want, but you kind of have to let the material itself guide you in its own way.
Yeah. Well, I was going to see if there was a way that, so I have a spell that might be able to assist, but I have to have an understanding of the thing that I'm looking for. Was there anything special about either any of the tools or the case that they were in?
Well, they were all made by my great-grandfather, and they were passed down to me from my father. So I mean, I guess they're very dear to me, The case itself is it's a wooden case, There's like it's like a golden handle, on the top with like a leather wrapping on it. There's a lot of little carvings on it, that my family's made on it over the years. I've don't have a lot of room to add my own to it, but it's very intricate little thing. But it's also worn down, over the years, so they're kind of smooth and faded. It's not like a crisp, clean looking thing, and it's chipped in places. It's kind of like I said, it's been banged up a bit, and everything inside is on the older side, but it's been taken very well care of. No rust. I'm very careful to keep them covered and oiled. All the handles are cherry wood, if that helps at all.
Nice.
Are you
And like
thinking,
Burberry's trying to build like a mental image of the thing.
are you thinking of the same spell you used to find that hat, Burberry?
I'm sure I have no idea what you mean.
That was sarcasm, right? He actually does have a plan.
Mildly. It's not super long range, but if it's either, and I'm not saying you've misplaced it, because clearly you haven't. That's a rather large thing to, misplace. But on the off chance that it's still in the general vicinity, it would assist in finding it there, and if it's not here, then I can travel and the radius of the spell will travel with me.
Okay, so maybe then this... I can try to sketch it for you here. She'll start looking around for paper and pen or something. And she'll very roughly hash out a little rough drawing of this toolbox. It's on the longer side. It's about the size of a bread box, by what she describes. And it's not the cleanest drawing in the world, but you get a sense of like the proportions and like where the hinges and everything are. So, I mean, you get a rough idea of the object you're looking for visually.
Okay, but since it is on a time limit, and I imagine that it's not here, and we're probably gonna have to go cavorting about a bit. I would like to save casting it until we finish our questions.
It'd be nice to actually like rent a horse beforehand or something, so you could like ride around town.
You bramble.
I'm sure you could find somewhere to borrow a horse. There's a handful of stables around town.
We're gonna get there, and one of those kids are gonna be interning. Like, hey!
This is definitely a tricky problem, Lee. There's very little to go on, I admit. We are going to try our best, though.
I would appreciate it. I'll be honest, I had kind of given up hope, but I'm crossing my fingers, the first folk who've really come out with an actual plan to do something, it sounds like.
We can try. Did Riley talk to you at all about what we were looking for in exchange for services like this?
She said you were looking to find some way sort of in with the elders on the island, if I'm not mistaken.
We've been trying to find a way to get an audience with them.
And, I am not exactly close with the elders myself. I'm not an adherent of the way, but I know that some of my customers, are in regular contact. I do a lot of work for a lady called Adri. She is the senior shrine attendant at the. Oh, excuse me, not Adri. For an individual, for a man named Lorne, Adri is a different attendant. Is a man named Lorne. He is an attendant at the shrine of Alice here in town. He is friends with Adri, who is friends with the elders. And I think perhaps maybe I could put in a word with him, see if perhaps we can get you that meeting you're looking for.
It would mean a lot to us. We are trying to unravel a mystery of our own.
And what sort of mystery is that?
Well, that's up to the.
A very weird one.
That's up to Barnaby to say or not.
Weirder than vanishing tools and valuables.
Yes. Or at least on a similar level, but with like a person instead of your tools. And the person being me.
Oh.
And the time being for 5 years.
Oh.
But he didn't know about it.
Oh. That's very heavy. I was not expecting that. I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, all right.
At least someone found you eventually, right? You're here.
That's true.
Well, that is a lot, and I wish I could help.
You might be able to. We're trying to just learn more about the forest, to be honest, and it sounds like the elders may be the ones on the island who know the most.
But they are probably the ones to ask about the deeper jungle. I suppose then you'll be looking for the tools now. I don't know. I don't know where to go from here.
We can certainly let you get back to your morning.
I wasn't going to be doing much with it, but I'll be honest, I'm not sure how much more help I can be.
I mean, there's not much here to go on, but we'll look around and give that magic a try, I think. And get back to you when we know more, if we know more. And if we don't, by the end of the day, we'll let you know that too.
Of course, yeah. I mean, you're welcome to look around here. I mean, if you need to look in the house, if you think that will help, I can certainly let you look around as well. I'll leave the door here unlocked, and just let me know when you head out. And sure, if there's anything you need, I'll be here inside.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you again. I very much appreciate it.
No problem.
So, she'll leave you guys to the shed and kind of head back upstairs, give you guys kind of a nervous, shy little wave, and make her way back inside.
In the interest of just being thorough, I will take a look around just to make sure.
Okay, sure.
I would like to cast Detect Magic.
Detect Magic. Okay.
Would it be possible for someone to go rent a horse while we're doing this?
I can go.
Sure, why not? We can do that.
All right. Boy squad, go rent horse.
I don't know what you wanted me to roll for that search.
I would say investigation.
But I rolled a nat 20.
Hey, good job.
I'm probably not gonna find anything, but that's a 21.
Interesting. Okay.
All right, sorry. Go ahead.
So, the horse, real quick. Let me get that number for you. The horse rental will cost. Oh, excuse me. Oh my god, this is being dumb. I'll say if it's just for like the day in town, they'll rent you a horse for 5 silver pieces for the day.
And we just need it in town.
Yeah. As long as it's just in town, they'll agree to a rate of 5 silver pieces.
Okay.
All right. From there, with Noelle's 21 investigation, what you will find, Noelle, is very little. True to her assessment of the crime scene, there are no signs of forced entry, no damage to the workshop to speak of. However, as you are sort of combing this, oh my god, my fucking mouse is not acting right. As you are combing this workshop, you do find something very, very strange.
The tools.
There they are.
Oh, that is
Just
strange.
sitting there. No, on the windowsill. Just like on the edge of the sill, you see a footprint. A very faded, small humanoid footprint, barefooted. You can see like the pinky through middle toe before the rest of the foot kind of curls off the windowsill. And the window itself comes down on like the arch of the foot. So it's just like the ball of the foot and 3 toes. But very, very faintly, and it's got kind of like an oily, almost like iridescent kind of residue-y kind of sheen to it. Like you walk by it a couple of times before just something about the angle the sun catches it, and you like just notice this imprint on the windowsill. Very distinct.
All right, good to know. Does it look like the footprint of Willem's imp? just checking.
No. From your memory of the imp, that thing had like clawed feet.
Okay.
These have like grubby little toes on them, like people toes. They're small.
5 toes?
Presumably. Like I said, there's only the 3 toes visible on the windowsill itself before like what would be, you would assume, the other 2 toes
Oh, I
kind of
see.
like curl off of it, like over the edge.
All right. Was Burberry casting detect magic too?
Yes. So, detect magic, Burberry. Within 30 feet of you, there is no magic to speak of.
Lauren thinks it's goblins.
Okay.
I was starting to think that.
Clever enough to do that.
I was gonna say I was starting to think that too at first, but then they said there was no damage to the room, and that doesn't sound like goblins. Also, I did find a little something on this windowsill. Very tiny creature of some kind came in here.
Would any of Lauren's experience with the Green Wardens come in handy here, DM?
You could roll a nature check.
Do what type of check?
A nature check.
Alright.
See if you're familiar with weird, tiny people, creatures.
I don't know if I have nature as my...
Oh, can I roll one as well? If it's a people creature? Maybe it's
Yeah, sure.
something we can...
I got a 3. Lauren knows nothing.
I mean, fuck, man. It could be a goblin. It could be a halfling. I don't know.
Yeah,
Weird.
I didn't do much better. I'm afraid that's an 8.
Yeah.
Can I make a slightly different kind of check just because I'm curious?
Okay.
So, does this seem like any creature? Because Noelle's read a lot of books. Does it seem like any kind of creature I would have ever read about in like a fairy tale? Something that sneaks in at night and steals stuff?
Yeah, maybe. Give me a history check.
Better than the other rolls. That's a 12.
Okay. It's not it's not an uncommon motif in fairy tales to have little creatures sneaking in and borrowing things or just totally jacking them. It'd probably ring a couple bells, sure.
Lauren, how is your bloodhound?
That's a good idea.
I mean, if there's footprints, there might be a sniffy scent thing.
DM, do I have a bloodhound?
I mean, it's a dog or a mastiff, and it has advantage on perception checks that
With
use
smell, that's true. That's true.
And Lauren's pretty good at perception.
And I
or,
can make
I've seen a
badass
dog before. That's not a big ask.
That's fair. Okay. I thought, like, I don't know why I was thinking bloodhound. I was thinking some, like, demon dog. So I was like, I don't know.
Bloodhound.
Have I seen a demon dog? I don't know.
No, like a droopy ass fucking big hound dog that sniffs stuff.
This is a pretty metal name for a very derpy dog.
Right.
Dope. Okay, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I'll be like, let's find out. And then I turn into a dog and go sniff the footprint.
Okay, sniffing around. Go ahead and give me an advantage perception check.
It is 18.
18, yeah. Yeah, you give this little footprint a smell, and while faint, as it is old, you do pick up a somewhat distinct scent. There is a sort of fatty, greasy kind of vibe coming off of this. That's kind of mingled with an almost grassy sort of smell.
So Lauren was a bear for a lot of the time. She was out by the mines.
Mm-hmm.
And she also has a keen sense of smell.
Okay.
Would it be, like, similar to anything she smelled before? As a bear.
This particular scent does not necessarily smell familiar to you. Like, there's elements that you can relate it to, but it's definitely its own new thing to your nose.
I track this smell.
Yeah, there is a very, very faint trail in this room. Kind of snuffling along the windowsill, you kind of drop down to the table underneath it a little bit, kind of sniffing along that, drop down to the floor, find yourself kind of circling the room, almost kind of just like wandering from corner to statue to mask on the wall, hopping up on a desk again. There's kind of this winding, meandering, erratic trail throughout this workshop that eventually leads you to the spot where Lee indicated the case was. And from there, you sniff, follow this trail over to another window on the other side of the shed. And sniff up to the window pane. and you're at the window pane now.
What was that last part?
I said you are now staring at the window pane. The trail has led you
bark
to
at it, and hopefully one of my companions will open up the window.
Just to double check, which way was the footprint I found facing? Was that the one heading into the workshop or out?
Yeah, it was like half of a footprint, kind of cut off by the window itself, leading into the workshop.
Okay. I'll go. I assume the window opens. I'll go open it.
Okay. So you open the one that Aloran has indicated.
Yeah.
Okay. There's nothing outside that window. There is a very distinct lack of scent. It just stops right
Can
there
I-
at the window pane.
If it's like a distinct lack of scent, could I potentially follow that lack of scent?
I mean, it just smells like outside. Like
Oh,
like
okay.
it just stops, right? Like you don't smell any more trail whatsoever. It leads directly up to the window pane and then nothing.
Wait, so does I imagine that her woodworking tools smell kind of like sawdust.
You could imagine, sure.
Does that smell end as well if the tools got picked up and moved?
I mean, that scent. I mean, you don't really have like a strong like tool smell necessarily that you're going off of. And there's kind of a pervasive smell of wood and sawdust and shavings just everywhere here.
It probably smells really good in here, honestly. Fresh wood.
You're not wrong. Whatever this trail is that you're picking up stops right at the window pane.
All right, different approach. What if I get down, like, say I sit, kind of kneel in front of the window and sort of get to like a lower level? I assume this creature seems smaller given the size of its footprint.
Seems to be.
So if I just kind of like peer out the window from this location, is there anything interesting on the horizon I can see? Like, is there like a forest, or like, is it lead to the forest, or is it just a road, or what?
So this window is looking out into the sort of covered enclosure where the unfinished wood statue is currently standing. There's a pile of logs just outside of it, kind of just lying in the yard. You can see that picket fence at the far end of the yard. There's a table. Looks like it's actually kind of like a lunch table, I guess, off to the side, with a couple of chairs. That's just kind of sitting in the middle of the yard. But other than that, nothing really jumps out at you.
Lauren's gonna hop out the window. She's gonna sniff around the fence.
Okay. Just in front of the fence. So bounding across the table over to the fence, sniff, 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 sniff. Not picking up anything over here.
Around like the entire fence area, there's nothing.
Not over here, no.
I'm starting to think this thing can either fly or teleport.
Or both.
If it's teleporting, we're going to have a problem.
I would agree. Flying also seems less likely if it's carrying a giant heavy case of wood tools. These would have to.
There's also the possibility that they have the ability to erase their scent.
I guess that's true. I feel like it would have done that in the workshop, but
Do any of these three abilities narrow down the choice of possibility of who could do it? I mean, teleportation indicates magic.
Ghost bird.
it's got to be a ghost bird.
Flying indicates either magic or physical capability.
I have a feeling there's definitely magic. I've read fairy tales with very similar, strangely similar things happening in them before. But, you know, I don't know what among those would have ever been true or based on anything true. We are near a Fey forest, so not unlikely that there are magical beings that might pilfer things in the night.
Maybe.
Oh, I totally saw this crime-solving play back in town, back in my hometown, and I think one of the tropes was always who benefits the most from stealing it. Like, what would they gain from it?
Goblins, money, trade stuff.
They have a theater in Helmfirth?
Yep, it was right in the town center.
Oh,
There was actually a theater in
oh,
Helmsford.
okay, well.
Plays every Friday. Or
Touche.
plays every Friday night.
I don't know how I missed that.
Y'all didn't spend a ton of time wandering around.
I don't know if this is about motive. Especially if it's just random stuff going missing. It might just be creatures that like to steal for stealing's sake.
Did anything else go missing except for her tools?
Well, she said that
Yes.
other people have had things go missing, not her.
Oh, okay. And were they in a similar line, like things of significant value, or specific like tools, or things of? She said they were sentimental, right?
True. You could go ask her. She's right there. She's looking at us through that window.
She is standing at the window of her kitchen, like looking at you guys with a cup of coffee.
If we can find out if it's
point,
just
and she just kind of waves.
or if it's targeted, then we'll have more of an idea. John's gonna walk over and be like, "Hey, so do you know what else was stolen? Do you know if it was random things or things of like sentimental value or like?"
I mean, I have heard that people have had coin stolen. I've heard someone lost a hairbrush, you know. A friend of mine lost a dress.
So it seems to be just random.
I mean, to an extent,
Was it a fancy hairbrush? Was it like sentimental? Do you know?
It was a nice one for sure. You know, it was like lacquered and had some nice little stones set in the back. I think it was ivory tooth. It was a nice brush.
You said a hairbrush and a dress.
Two different people lost those, I believe.
Two different people. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand, but it was a hairbrush and a dress, and then
Right.
What were her tools again?
My tools. I've known
No,
a
I mean
few people
out of character. What kind of tools were they?
Oh, woodworking tools.
Woodworking tools. Okay, that one.
Right. She's lost
Jumps to
coins. There was a family who lost an entire drawer full of silverware.
Okay. I have a question about the dress. Was it a big dress or a smaller dress, like a children's dress or like a lady's dress?
It was a woman's dress. Like a grown woman's dress.
Full size. Actually, Lee, maybe you can help us. We did find one small thing. Maybe you know more about this than we would.
I'll kind of just call over to the workshop again.
I was looking around and I noticed the light reflecting a little weird here, and I saw this little footprint here. Do you see it?
Oh, weird. I never saw that before.
And we just had our friend Lauren sniff around a little bit as a dog. That's an important qualifier, Chad.
She looks over. There's a dog just sitting there, like wagging its tail. It's like, oh, hello.
It's just a Lauren as a Triton, like.
Yeah.
She has a pretty good nose, and she found a trail of this thing, kind of whatever this was, running around your workshop. So we think we may have found some kind of culprit.
She'll like open the window over the footprint too, and kind of furrow her brow, kind of like get down, looking at the windowsill. It's only like half a print. Look, see, it like cuts off right there at the window. There's nothing outside it. And sure enough, looking down at the windowsill, there is no heel. It is like a perfect like cut that starts right there at the edge of the window.
Assuming
where it
Lauren
comes
did
down.
like a loop around the workshop, I assume there's no scent outside this window either.
Yes, sniffing outside the window, no scent.
Okay.
Scent starts on the windowsill.
That is definitely something odd.
I'm confused. I'm confused why Lauren didn't sniff it out as a bear, since they have better smell than a dog.
It is true.
It's still advantage.
Yeah. Indeed, it's the same.
Plus, also, she can continue walking around as a dog in town without freaking out a bunch of people.
This is true.
Yeah, we noticed that the scent seems to just end at the windows, so I'm not terribly surprised that the footprint starts at the window, I guess.
That is very peculiar.
So I take it you've never heard of anything like this, like any creatures that may live in the forest or something?
I mean, it sounds like fairy shit.
That was my conclusion.
I'm inclined to agree. It you know, they say the woods are fairies' lands, you know, but this is the first I've ever seen anything like this before.
Does she live near the woods at all, or is that just like...
She's actually pretty smack in the middle of town. You guys just went like a block off the main road from the port to the square.
Mm-hmm.
Just a couple blocks shy of the Shrine of Alice, which is on the way. So you guys are sort of on the southwest, more west than south by any means, but still pretty central Gladham at this point.
So there's not like nearby forest we could scout around.
She is surrounded by neighborhood. Yeah,
Okay.
there's no forest around here.
Well, I figured we should at least share what we found with you.
And it's definitely something. It's more than I found in the last week and a half. So good work. I hope it turns something up.
Same here. Do we have a horse now? Are we trying that next? Is that the next step?
Yeah, sure. Barnaby and John will definitely come back with a horse at this point.
We found one.
Did you pay for it?
The horse just shakes its head.
There was just a horse sitting outside this bar, so we took it.
Wasn't being
Nobody
used.
was
We're just
using
gonna
it.
borrow it. Sure, they wouldn't mind.
So Burberry, you know the
One
magic.
just turned into a horse too. By the way.
All right, that's true.
But then you lose dog
I guess
smell.
you lose wild shape and dog form.
I can sit down for 30 minutes.
Burberry, you know this magic better than us. What's the best approach, do you think?
By better is relative, considering that you used it as well last go round, if memory serves.
Lauren did.
No? Oh, Lauren did. My bad.
Your memory did not serve you.
No, it never does, but that's okay. That's fine. I'll a drunken stupor. I'll just let it to a drunken stupor and call it a day.
I'm gonna ask Noelle a question, like kind of quietly.
As a dog.
Yes, hello, dog.
No, I was gonna turn back.
Okay.
The dog is like beckoning to Noelle. She leans down, very, very quiet.
My question for Noelle is, As a changeling, can y'all turn in, if you wanted to, could you turn into a goblin?
I think so. Yeah, sure. Why do you ask?
It's really center in town. So it seems unlikely that a goblin.
I don't think it's goblins.
I don't think it is either. And I don't know.
I don't think I could go any smaller than a goblin, though. I think that's about as little as I could get.
Can a changeling actually change size?
I think they can do medium.
I think if it's a player character, a changeling could become it. Or if it could be a player character, a changeling could become it.
You can adjust your height and weight, but not so much that your size changes.
Oh, okay. So I could be a really tall goblin.
Yeah, you could be a medium goblin.
Yeah. I could be a goblin leader.
Never mind.
Fair enough.
Watch out, they killed the last one.
That's true. I don't know why I'd want to do that, but...
It seems like a very precarious position.
Alright, so do we want to send the dog and the horse and the dragonborn on a little adventure?
Wait, if you're going to turn back into a dog, you should cast
Oh,
Locate
right.
Object before turning into a dog, and then you will have Locate Object active while you're dogging.
Okay, I'll do that.
Good thought.
I'm a dog. That knows Luke.
Did you prepare locate objects, Johnny? Also, Burberry, that's a good question. Did you prepare locate object today?
I did, because we talked about finding lost things yesterday.
I had a feeling you had it prepared.
It's pretty logical.
But I'm asking the druid, because I know she likes her ice knife.
Actually, I didn't. I wasn't really thinking about it, so I'm not very good at changing my spells. So.
I'll be honest. As much as I'm fucking with you about it, I'd be willing to say, considering you were the one who talked to Adlar last night, if we want to say that you prepared it this morning, you can take your opportunity now to prepare your spells as you will for the day.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Dude, I bet Adlar would know what this fucking thing is, but he's sleeping.
I will say that I am not very combat heavy on my spells today.
I think we'll try to avoid combat.
Sure.
I did prep healing spells, but attack spells?
It's all good.
Sure. Okay.
John's just sitting on his rages. He's all ready if anything happens.
I'll kill the fuck out of whatever fucking spooky goblin went through that window.
John's rage is a little bit more revved up from just everything that happened.
Big swoop!
Damn you, alcohol!
So I have locate object on, and I am now doggo.
All right. Locate object and dog. Locate object on a horse.
We should go different directions.
Okay.
I'll go towards the harbor.
Okay. Gladham is not a big town, so I'll be honest. You two will probably be able to cover a very large amount of the city together with this effort. So Chinese going to check out the harbor, west side of town.
And then I guess I'll do east side of town then if it's...
Okay, cool. Then I'll say give me... I guess, Charney, I need a perception check from you just because you're also kind of keeping a nose out for that scent. So perception check with advantage. Yep. And I'll say investigation check with advantage from both of you.
15.
For the locate object.
The spell is for...
Perception is 22.
22. Okay.
And investigation?
Investigation, yep.
Mine is at an 18.
18. Okay.
Investigation's 15.
15. Okay. So, two things then to cover here. With locate object running, both of you sort of parting ways and canvassing different sides of town. It's a few minutes before either of you feel anything. Lauren, as you're kind of walking along the dock, kind of following some interesting scents you find there, which we will cover in a second. Towards the end of the spell's duration, you will kind of feel this pull further north along these docks, close to the road of the resort. You'll feel a pull towards sort of the northern edge of the city, which from this current location is almost like northeast, more east than north from you. In Burberry, you'll have a similar sensation towards the end of your spell, pulling you northwest from your position on the eastern side of the city. Lauren, with that perception check, as you are investigating the docks, sniffing around looking for a ping, you will pick up that scent, that fatty, mossy scent. Kind of at the base of a fence, running across a street, and then vanishing underneath a chair.
Chair?
A chair, yeah. It's like a chair out front of a house in one of those like eatery areas. But it like darts out from this like rickety wooden like just stick fence. It's not even like a picket fence. It's like a stick fence. Runs out from it where it starts abruptly across the street into a yard and under a chair where it disappears. And you encounter it again further down the street. Again, abruptly starting it's kind of this like pile of wooden posts. One of them kind of sticking out and protruding out of the pile and kind of propping up another post. The trail kind of leads from sort of the makeshift little arch that this thing kind of makes down an alley and up to another window where it stops at the window.
Stop the window?
Yep. Like on the windowsill.
Is the smell about as old as the one that was outside the house?
This smells a lot stronger. And a lot fresher.
This is at that house.
This is down at the port.
At the port?
Where you're kind of starting your investigation. And these trails are never very long, and they're very haphazardly scattered around the port, but they're fucking everywhere. They're like crisscrossing the port down here. You're like, you catch scent of one, you kind of follow it to one endpoint, then down to the other endpoint, and then you have nowhere else to go. So you continue on your way, and then you catch another one. You're sniff, 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 sniff out from like underneath a boat and over to another fence, and it vanishes.
So just like going to a bunch of houses consistently.
It's like all these weird like crisscrosses, and they're not even going to houses. They're in weird spots, starting and stopping. And this probably slows you down a little bit until probably like 6 or 7 minutes into your spell, you suddenly feel that tug as you're reaching sort of the north side of the port, and you feel that pull from the spell leading you northeast towards the north side of the city.
Follow that tug.
Okay. So, I assume Burberry is also probably following his inclination.
I don't have a nose to follow and get distracted by, so
This
yes.
is true. So, you two kind of hurrying across town, will have your spell sort of dissipating almost as soon as you guys kind of catch sight of each other. You've both sort of hit this cross street. You can see each other kind of like 2 or 3 blocks away. You know, Burberry sees this dog. Aloran sees this hooded bird man on a horse. And kind of converging, you can see that you were both sort of heading towards the northern edge of the city, which is not far away. It's maybe another block before the dense sort of urban construction of the neighborhood kind of gives way, and you just kind of these scattering of houses. Looking around, there is a very conspicuous stone building kind of built in the middle of all this. It's just off of a main road that kind of leads, it looks like, towards the city square from the edge of town. And it's sort of set out away from sort of the dense neighborhood here, and is not really around anything else. There's kind of empty lots surrounding it. Does not look like anyone's really built up around it. There are like there's like a home or a farm kind of here and there in the distance, but there's this lone stone structure. It's sort of like a small, not even like a tower, but it's roughly kind of circular shape. There's kind of a bare bones crenellation up top. It's very, very minimal in its construction. Not very big, maybe 2 stories tall. That feels ominously as though it might have been the point upon which you were converging when you catch sight of each other.
Are there any like establishments
out
around?
Here? It's not really super busy.
There's not like a coffee house or tea house or bakery.
No, this is sort of like an outlying neighborhood you're on the edge of, beyond which there's just like a scattering of, you know, a handful of like farms and isolated homes, kind of small podunk ones out here. And beyond them, you know, you can see the beginnings of the jungle. The underbrush and higher trees begin to kind of like densen. That's not a word. Thicken. There you go. Thank you. And sprawl out around this road, which actually continues into the jungle. It just kind of like fades away from paved stone into a very rough dirt path. Excuse me.
So I stepped away for a minute, but from what I gather, there was some kind of strange stone structure you guys found.
It's like a small, shitty 2-story tower.
Okay.
It's real gnarly looking. And yeah, it's like a block away. You can see it, and it's kind of weirdly like in the middle of the point that you guys were sort of like running towards. I'm curious, was the party like traveling with Burberry?
I kind of assumed we just stayed at the house. Like, I didn't want to slow anyone down.
Oh, okay. So it's just
Probably
Burberry
just
and
waiting for a
Aloran
report.
here. Okay.
Once again, I find myself wishing that I had sending. Last. Do you smell anything else, Aloran? Just a nod or a shake.
Do I smell anything else?
Give me a reception check with advantage.
Sir DM?
Sure.
I mean, I'm not trying to stop you from doing the amazing job you're doing as a dog, but I didn't speak with animal today.
Unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20.
I should start doing that if I can.
You know, sniffing around here. Yeah, there's some funk. There's some of that weird funk, that fucking grassy, fatty, like, it's thick.
Is it coming really strong from that house?
Do you want to go up to it?
I'll just kind of like be sniffing around, like I'm just like, I'm gonna try to act like street dog, not like, not like super alert, like just trying to be lazy.
I'll say, give me a stealth check to sell this ruse.
Okay. Ooh. I think it's a 15. Yes, 15.
15. Or I got stealth or performance, one of the two. So this is kind of a bit.
13, what's my performance? Plus 2. 15 either way.
15 either way. All right, 15. Cool. You look like a stray dog sniffing around looking for food. But what you're really sniffing is weird, fatty, greasy, mossy smell. And it's everywhere. Like, weirdly dense in this area. There's not even, like, a good, like, individual trail you can really pick up, like, meandering. There's just this blanket of it, almost. It's just like there's so much activity here. And yeah, the closer you get to that building, the stronger that smell gets.
Is there anything interesting that a dog might want to play with in front of that building's guard?
Stepping up to it, looking around, this building has the look of almost like a condemned, abandoned building to it. The yard is overgrown. The windows are dusty. They're not boarded up, but they are kind of gnarly looking. It looks like there was sort of a makeshift garden farm in the plot of land behind it. But that is also somewhat overgrown and does not look like it has been tended to in weeks. And kind of looking around, cocking your head, there's just like this really nasty, faded sign hanging over the door. It's like a very roughly carved wooden sword with an eye over it. But nothing interesting in the yard necessarily. Unless, like, carrots and weeds and shit are interesting to a dog.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna go dig in that garden for some carrots.
Alright, yeah, sure. There's some carrots in there, potatoes.
I'll eat the carrots.
Alright.
You're in
White
character.
dog, like, yeah, snacking on carrots, but whatever.
And I'm
Hey,
doing
dogs,
so as
dogs
loudly
like
as
carrots. The dog that lives
It's
with us
true.
like carrots.
They're
Do what?
sweet.
I'm doing it as loudly as possible.
Just smacking on your carrot. Gotcha.
Digging.
Okay.
Just making a scene
Sure.
outside for food. Like, oh my god, I'm so excited. Yay.
Okay. You do that.
Okay.
I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but I think we might need to investigate this building, guys.
That's a good hunch.
I don't feel safe investigating. That dog seems very excited about the carrots, and I really don't want to get in its way. It's not like I have to wait for the rest of my party or anything, or go fetch.
We were
the
waiting
rest
for
of my
you
party.
guys.
I'm waiting for no, I'm just watching a Lord at this point.
Sure.
while I'm doing this, is there any movement that I see out in the house?
Give me a perception check.
Ooh. Oh wait, it's first roll. Sorry.
Yeah, first roll.
15 was the
15?
first roll plus 7.
15 plus 7. So 22. Gotcha. You would swear there was a flicker in the window. Something moved. You didn't see what, but there was definitely like a shift in the color there.
Okay. With that, I'm gonna leave the garden, happy dog tail wagon,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm going to like avoid Burberry,
Mm-hmm.
and then just kind of like bark a little ways away.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Burberry
check
will, like, you hear Burberry whisper in your ear, "Are you wanting me to follow you?" One bark for yes, two barks for no.
Is that a questioning bark?
Burberry's going to wander off.
All right, sure. So, we'll say maybe 20 minutes later. Noelle, John, Barnaby, been waiting and waiting and wait. Oh, there they are! Finally. You will see Noelle and Burberry making their way back down the road towards you guys.
You mean Lauren?
Why was I there?
Damn it, Lauren! Holy shit!
Guys, it was great. I was
Suddenly
digging
Noelle
in their
teleports
yard.
from where we were at.
Fucking
Noelle just
killed
teleports from where she was at over to them.
It
Why
keeps
are you over
happening.
there?
Fucking no clips across the island in like 2 seconds.
I am pretty good at speedrunning, guys.
we found another Noelle spawn.
Yeah.
Noelle's rubber banding.
All right, but yeah, the party reconvenes.
As long as she doesn't start doing the Harlem Shake, we'll be fine.
I will turn back into a fish person.
Okay.
And I assume they will relay what they saw.
Yes. A
There was
stinky house.
stinky house, movement in house, so it means it's occupied.
And
I
you
feel like
both felt like the woodworking kit was there?
But that's if we were seeming to converge. I did not cast it again as a secondary measure because, again, that seemed to be where it was headed anyway, and I thought it might be safer to have folks there instead of just, possibly breaking into this random
Can you just
pretty house. I don't know.
Can you describe the location of the house to the client person?
I suppose so. I mean, it's on the north side of town, on the slightly west.
That is clear.
Like at the edge of town.
Is Lee here? I assume they're.
Yeah,
nearby.
she's lives here.
Oh,
She's
I'm
not
sorry.
doing
No,
anything.
I'm sorry. I didn't. My brain was like, we were outside. It didn't.
Yeah, if you guys want to go talk to her, she's right inside.
Yeah,
Like she might know.
She's
where
looking at us through the
like,
window
who owns
again.
them.
So I say that it's on the north side of town, slightly to the west. It's a stone building that looks like it hasn't been taken care of for a long period of time, and there's a wooden sword hanging over it.
Do you mean the watchtower?
Is that what that is?
Yes, they have a small garrison here.
They do not take very good care of their buildings.
Well, they
I
don't.
should know. I've seen my fair share of undermanned.
I mean, it's the watch. They always look like they don't take care of their shit. They're kind of a mess.
Yeah, but yes, it's coming from the watch.
Wait, is it the gate watch?
Tower.
Yes.
Like the.
Yeah, the watch, the gate watch.
Sorry,
they
I
got-
thought you were talking like the town watch.
Yeah, no, they've got like the whole we fight demons and
Oh shit, we got
angels
let's
and
go,
shit.
Go guys, our little thingies, we can pop over.
Yeah,
Shit.
the sign hanging over the door was not quite the same as the emblem that you have on your little pin, but now that you think about it, it's like, oh yeah, no, eye, sword. All right, yep.
So I guess we're heading over to the Gate Watchtower.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yes, so.
What did the Gatewatch have all my shit for?
We're about to find out.
It might not be the
Huh?
Gatewatch organization themselves. Apparently, there's some. Alorn, how did you describe the smell?
Oily and mossy.
And hop, skipped, and jump all over the place.
Yeah, all of them.
That's really weird.
To the list of really weird stuff that we've seen.
In the
Well,
25 minutes we've been doing this investigation, it's only gotten weirder.
You guys have fun with that then. I will eagerly await your return. And hopefully you have found.
But good news, your things are on the material plane. Isn't that a nice bonus?
I would hope so. But yeah, it's good. No silver lining. I appreciate that. Thank you. Good luck.
Do you know who runs the Gatewatch here?
No, we don't talk to them. Bunch of.
All right, let's get to the building. We need to go to the
figured
building.
you might at least know the name.
They don't even take care of their houses. They're fucking weirdos. Nobody talks to them.
Shit, I'm dating a weirdo, guys.
I think Plutt made that pretty clear.
Bro. It's okay. Lauren's weird.
That's fine.
I would like to do a short rest so I can get my wild shapes back before we go. If that's alright.
That's up to y'all.
I suppose you guys, they don't really have any reason to believe they're being investigated right now since you did the dog performance. So there's probably no downside there.
Hey, yeah, you guys want to go get a beer and something? Chill for an hour?
Go to the water, what was it called?
The wet house?
Wet house.
Yeah, sure. Head back to the port. Grab a seat at the bar. Grab a drink. Yeah, over the course of a short rest, you'll regain your wild shapes, no problem. Noelle, you will note there is a half-elf tending bar right now who takes a very curious interest in you, kind of steps into the back room, and probably like 15 minutes later comes back out and kind of resumes just like cleaning up, but is shortly followed by a familiar face, Aloran. There's that short-haired changeling woman, Fennel, excuse me, who steps out and says, "Well, you weren't kidding, were you?"
Oh yeah, by the way. I forgot to tell you.
Well,
Well,
where did this come from?
Drinking. 2 works here.
I mean, that does explain why you forgot to tell me.
Yeah, sorry.
It's all right.
Fennel Cardell. She'll extend a hand to you, Noelle.
Noël Courtemanche.
You have a lovely name.
Thank you.
Forgive me for intruding. It's been so long since I've met another one of us. Welcome to Gladham. What brings you out here?
Well, I'm just traveling with these guys. Question for the DM: have I ever met another changeling ever that I would know is a changeling?
They're not uncommon. Like they're around. I would say.
Well, it's more like I'm sure they're around, but they probably are disguised a lot.
Yeah, in your experience, the vast majority of changelings tend to keep another form.
Yeah.
You rarely see individuals like yourself and apparently Fennel here who are comfortable walking around just as themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say in the scant few interactions that you've had with other changelings, they tend to regard this as feeling almost naked in a way. It's a level of exposure that is uncomfortable in a lot of ways, and they generally prefer to keep this true form to themselves and their close, trusted friends and loved ones. Fennel might be the first one you've met who has the same sort of disposition as yourself. That is just like, yeah, this is me, just wearing it out there.
So to clarify, Fennel was not disguised as the half elf, or the half elf just recognized that I was here.
The half elf recognized that you were here.
Okay.
She saw you, was like, oh shit, changeling, and went to get Fennel.
Gotcha.
And reemerged with Fennel in tow. So
Yeah, to answer your question, I've just been traveling with these guys for 2 months now, 2.5.
I think it's been a month and a half.
Oh.
No, I think it has been just a month.
It was a month.
Well, oh, sorry, because months are twice as long. That was why I was.
Yeah, 60 days.
For about a month.
Well, I'm glad you made it all the way out here. Where are you coming from, if I might ask?
Way far away from here. Aelia is where I'm from.
That is far. Goodness.
What about yourself?
Well, glad I'm native, actually.
Oh, okay.
Born and raised. But I won't lie, I have always sort of wondered what it was like to travel like that, get out there, as far from home as you can get.
Well, the grass is always greener, they say.
Well, true enough. Plus, it seems horribly dangerous and expensive, and I figured I could probably make do with stories, so I got into the tavern business.
Do you own this place?
Yes, actually.
Oh.
One of three. Over there, the half-elf there, Trezere, another part-time owner, and Roth, who is, I would assume, also sleeping. He's our third owner. These used to be separate, you know. We ended up combining forces when it became clear that we couldn't exactly handle each of our own clientele alone. It got to be a lot. There's a lot of spillage. Figured it was just easier to just call it what it was. It's one big filthy bar.
So, to picture this, is this 3 separate buildings, or like?
It's like 3 buildings that have had walls knocked out and just combined into one,
gotcha.
effectively. And you, like, looking around, you can still see, like, there's still like corners between some of the beams and stuff where you can see the plaster that still hasn't like eroded away.
Mm-hmm.
There's like bits of wallpaper still stuck to it. Like the evidence is clearly there that this is a tavern that has been well kept, well decorated, but like clearly kind of built into a half demolished sort of common room.
Interesting.
This is a very unique place, I have to say.
Oh. I'm glad you can appreciate its charm. Not a lot of people who come in to soak that in. They're mostly here for the drink. So, busy plans today?
Well, we're actually taking a quick break from what we're currently doing, which is trying to look for missing stuff that people have lost or lost. We're not sure how exactly it got where it was.
Are you looking into that now?
Today we are.
Well, I suppose there's probably no way to tell it apart, but if you happen upon a register's worth of silver and copper, we'd be much appreciative.
Actually, do you know anything about the local Gatewatch branch?
Gatewatch? Not particularly, no. They have a tower on the north side of town, and they keep to themselves.
Never seen it come here or talk to anyone who works there?
Nope. Can't see why anyone would want to.
And Lauren's like,
Believe it or not, they're not all so bad. I don't know about your local branch, but the ones in Freeport, we've talked to them before, and they were pretty level-headed.
I'm sure they're fine people, but they're dabbling in some strange stuff. It's dangerous, you know. You start messing around with angels and demons and everything in between out there. It's you're asking for trouble, if you ask me.
I think they're trying to prevent the trouble.
Well, I got a funny way of doing it.
Well, in any case, I would love to sit down and have a proper conversation with you at some point. I don't see many changelings around who are just...
You really don't. It's a real shame.
I agree.
Gotta say, I appreciate you going out on a limb like that. Doing us all a favor.
Well, you know,
Normalize
eventually
it, I
you just
say.
get used to it. At this point, being someone else feels weird, which is kind of what I was going for.
That's what I was saying. You know, she'll kind of like almost sit down, like just leaning down over the bar towards you. She's like, I tell people every time, it's just like, just do you, you know? Like, it's a real simple, and like, she's got a fucking opinion about this.
Yeah.
She could go on, you know? But you probably get into a decent conversation with her for the remainder of this little rest, and within the hour, restore your lost wild shapes of Lauren. It's like, well, I don't want to keep you. I know you guys have a lot to do. So whenever you got time, please do come back. I would love to hear more about your travels, Miss Noel.
I would love to chat with you more. We'll definitely be back.
You're always welcome down here. Y'all take care. All right, so back to the tower.
Yes. How are we doing this?
Great question, guys.
Do you guys want me to be a sneaky animal and kind of like investigate while you guys talk?
I'm gonna ask an out of character question real quick.
Sure.
We have about 20 minutes before midnight, and I know that we did want to wrap up around then. Is whatever we're going to end up doing, are we going to be able to wrap up in time?
Yeah, there's a stopping point.
Okay. All right.
I mean, we can stop whenever, honestly, right now.
Oh no, I know. It's just it's at the point that it was like, oh,
I will
this-
never throw a combat at you within 20 minutes of midnight and say, yeah, we're gonna finish this fight now. That'll happen.
I'm gonna go to bed. You tell Lauren.
We'll end it early if a fight.
I figure we were just gonna investigate and figure out what this was exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
Do we need to sneak? I mean, it's the Gatewatch, right? And we have those badges. Or wait, do we have badges? I forget.
We do
Yeah,
have
we-
badges.
Yes, you all actually have those.
Maybe we could just knock on the front door like normal people.
I mean, that's kind of what I'm at. Apparently, these guys are maybe a little more odd than the ones we're used to dealing with, but...
Odd is a
beats
relative
Father
term,
Severin.
I think.
Nothing beats Father Severin. Come on.
That's a good point.
Father Severin is interesting. Lauren will just go up to the Gatewatch. Knock, knock, knock.
Just walk up to it. Okay. Where's the rest of the party? Are you guys like a block away? Are you behind her on the road? Like, what's the what is the approach here? Just to
I'm
clarify.
going with her.
I think we're just going up.
All right.
I'll have my like little thing.
I realized why I didn't notice in my inventory. I wrote Gatewatch friendship bracelet.
That's one way to write it.
Oh, that's
Wait, did we get that? I don't think I ever added that to my inventory.
Apparently, we all got one. I did
It's
write
like
it
a
down.
Gatewatch.
I just wrote it.
It's like a talisman or a
stupidly.
brooch, like badge thing. Yeah. It's like
I wrote medallion coin thing.
Yeah, it's a commemorative medallion coin.
Limited
Yeah,
edition
no, I
cover.
forgot that.
Yeah.
Or I
So-
never wrote it down.
You all have one,
Okay.
so it's assumed. But yeah.
Yeah, I think we're just going
Yeah,
up. I'm
Lauren-
curious.
Sure. Yeah. Lauren knocks on the door. No
I'll be
answer.
Hi.
Hello?
We're friends of the Gatewatch. We have little thingies, and then I'll just kind of like hold it up.
Is there like a window? You could hold it in front of.
Yeah, window. Hi. I'm dating Gerald. From
You see a
Freeport.
mustachioed man in a pointy metal helmet lean over the edge of the tower, like, "Oh, I didn't just say so." No,
Oh my God.
there's no answer.
Is the door locked?
Yeah, let's try the handle. Is it open?
It is locked.
John's gonna knock this time.
The door breaks in half.
Pound the door.
Boom, boom, boom.
Are you wanting to kick the door in, John? Is that the plan?
No, just knock very loudly.
All right. Loud knocking. Boom, boom, boom. Still no answer.
Peek in the window.
Okay. Go over and look in the window. It's dusty. This window has not been cleaned in some time. You can very faintly make out on the ground floor in here what looks like a kitchen table, some counter space.
Hey, Noel.
You can very, very faintly make out like some stairs along the far wall.
Does it look almost like no one lives there?
Well, between the overgrown yard, the weeds in the garden, and the total lack of an answer, there's definitely no one here right now.
Use prestidigitation on the windows for a clearer view.
Oh. That is a good use of that spell. Clear up the dust.
Okay.
Do I see a little clearer now?
Yeah, there's definitely stairs along the back wall leading up to the second story. There's also a stairwell underneath leading down to a basement, presumably.
Don't suppose anybody has any lockpicks.
Would this be a good time for detecting magic?
I could do that.
We're like right outside the building, right?
Like me to cast detect magic.
Now would be a good time for somebody to know the knock spell.
I mean,
Okay.
it's always a good time to know the knock spell. It's not this.
How
time.
come nobody ever knows the knock spell?
Well, I'm a cleric. I can't learn it.
Because it's a
No,
hard knock spell.
Ah, ha, ha.
It's a hard knock spell for.
I
Detect
can
magic
the door all
from
day, but I don't think it'll listen.
detect magic from Burberry.
Yeah.
The faint flash in the eyes. Magical auras are now visible to you, and you see nothing.
What?
Feeling you were gonna say that. I had a hunch.
How long does that last? Like 10 minutes?
I think it's 10. Yeah.
Is the blade of my glaive like thin enough that I can fit it through the gap in the door? I don't know how tough it is.
It's a pretty heavy-duty wooden door, and it's not like it's a gap because there's the wooden the stone door frame around it. That
I'm thinking of where like, is it like a knob lock or is it like a bar lock? Is there any way to tell?
From where you are, you know that there's a key lock, like there's a keyhole in the door handle.
Ooh, do I see a key
So there's no gap.
anywhere inside, like hanging up?
Ooh, give me a perception check. Kind of like shifting around to like look at the door. Trying to get an angle on it.
Alright, but I want to
Okay.
use my inspiration because I'm pretty sure everybody has it.
Oh shit! He's using it.
And it was useless.
Damn it.
10 total.
10 total.
Say, seeing that Noel's looking for something, I'll be like, "What you looking for?"
Trying to see if I can find a key inside.
Did you check under the doormat?
Let me look too.
Oh hey, there it is.
Actually, now that I think about it, how small can Lauren get?
I can turn into like a fucking mouse, man. I
Sure.
can get real small.
Or like a bug.
Could you? Yeah, I was like, could you turn into like an ant and crawl through the little door, or the keyhole?
A spider.
21.
21.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll say with a 21, Alorn, you can barely make out, just because of the angle, it's weird, but you can just kind of barely see like the hook of like a key rack along the wall next to the door.
Oh.
Does not seem to be a key dangling from it, though.
Damn.
Can you like ant or spider and go through the keyhole?
I mean, that's not a bad idea. It does use a wild
I will
shape.
turn.
I mean, if you don't want to do that, I can break down the door. It's still
No,
an
I
option.
get it. Here, you guys
How
just like
long
walk away.
has the building been left alone? Like
Like,
if
would there
we
be
had
a-
to guess?
Okay.
Like, are we talking months or are we talking years?
Do you want to try and make a guess at that?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a basic intelligence check.
Nine. No, wait, 8.
8,
Oh, no, wait, 9.
9.
I can add 7 and 2.
I'll say the building is not in such terrible disrepair that it looks like it's been years necessarily. Like, probably happened more recently than years ago.
Are
But
the window
it's
panes
it's
as
hard to
bad
tell.
as they were at the other watchtower?
Are the what?
The window panes? Because remember at the other watchtower they just popped out.
No, these are sturdier. They're not necessarily clearer. They're not nice windows by any means. These are just kind of like basic glass windows. I don't know.
No, I figured, but
Yeah.
like the housing wasn't good.
Yeah, no.
Can I
The
just-
keep was a lot more ornate back in the day. Their stuff was a little finer, more finicky back then, but it didn't hold up. This is a very simple construction, sturdy though, and the windows are pretty solidly in place.
So at this point, we're either breaking down the door or climbing through the door.
I'm turning into a tiny spider and going through the keyhole.
Okay, teeny tiny spider crawls up the door and through the keyhole. The little legs kind of inside, and yeah, you'll come out on the other side of the keyhole inside the building, Alorn, without issue. So, you're a spider inside a seemingly empty, quiet living space. Yep. You can see there is the kitchen table. There's a fireplace and some counter space for cooking, it looks like, off to the side. You can see the two stairwells that Noelle noted earlier. There's one leading up, one leading down. There's a couple of like mannequins set up next to the door, sort of where you would put a coat rack, it looks like. Both of them naked, without anything hanging off of them. They're just kind of these wooden torsos on posts, just kind of standing there.
Is it like really dusty inside?
Yeah, looking around.
Are there any like footprints on the ground?
Give me a perception check. $20. Yeah, now that you start looking around very, very faintly, there's a couple of footprints in the dust on the ground here. Clear ones.
Tiny footprints?
These are a little bigger. Booted. They seem to be walking from the door to the basement stairs. They're very light.
Can I explore this house with a spider? Tower?
You
You
know,
wanna-
I feel like Aloran should just go in, find the stuff, turn into herself, pick up the stuff, and then turn into a spider and leave.
That's kind of what I'm thinking, yeah. So I'm gonna investigate these rooms as a tiny little spider.
Okay.
And my method of transportation will be on the ceiling, so that they hopefully will not see me
Okay.
and try not to squish me.
So you're gonna towards the stairs and just kind of along the floor and onto the ceiling of the basement. Yeah. Basically.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go on the ceiling and just kind of look
Okay.
around.
Sure, yeah. So you hit the stairwell, and there is sort of a stone wall that you're going to have to kind of crawl along a little ways to get to an opening that opens into the basement itself. I'll say go ahead and give me a stealth check. Just
Do I get an advantage because I'm really tiny? I'm like a tiny ass spider on a ceiling in a dark.
That's how. Even if she did trip, what's the loudest she could possibly be?
I'm a spider.
Why would she say that if she tripped?
She's like just waving her little arms.
Look at me.
Like, even if she tripped into like something heavy, she's so small, it probably would just be
I
like.
feel like
There's just like a little ping.
I feel like even if a spider was trying to get your attention, it would have a hard time.
Yeah, so that's fair.
Really hard time.
Sure. Advantage, fine. Yep.
Ooh, it's a good thing I asked for that because the first one was a nat 1.
Oof.
And the second one was a 15 plus 2.
17. Okay. So, creeping along the stone wall, eventually you see at the bottom of the stairs there's an archway leading into the basement proper. Kind of creep along the edge of the arch and look inside. And what you see is a pile of coins.
Pile of what?
Coins, primarily silver, with many gold and many copper. And scattered across this pile of coins is a random assortment of what seem to be valuable items. You pick up a brush, a dress. You see forks, knives, and spoons mixed in with all of these.
She's cracked the case.
Kind of off to the side that has slid down this pile, there is, in fact, a wooden, very old, heavily carved toolbox. All sorts of odds and ends scattered across the floor of this basement chamber, which looks to be a larder of some sort. There's crates and barrels kind of lining the edges of the room that clearly were food stores, and there's dangling clutches of like garlic and herbs hanging from the ceiling, and very, very faintly up above you can see along sort of the roof. You didn't notice them from outside since they were almost completely obscured by the tall grass, but there are these very small windows that are letting in just a tiny bit of sunlight, illuminating this otherwise dark room.
Why do I feel like this is like a dragon? Anyways. Like a dragon's horde.
Yeah.
Anyways. Okay.
Well, sitting in the midst of all this
Is a dragon!
is not a dragon.
Uh-huh.
And I shouldn't say sitting, they're more standing. There are several humanoid figures standing around this basement. Some very short, some taller. All of them with their heads upturned watching the ceiling. The little ones have these very disproportionately large heads. They have this dark purpley black skin, pointed ears with tufts of hair growing out of them. These wide set yellow eyes. They're kind of wall-eyed. They have these goofy fucking fat noses and janky teeth and long spindly fingers and these short little legs with these tiny little feet. And they're all just kind of staring up, watching and listening. The taller figures are harder to see. They're very heavily clothed. They've got these dark hoods pulled over their heads, these sort of short capes that kind of cover their upper torso, and thin legs that are just kind of garbed in these gray pants and dark leather boots. And you can just kind of barely see, kind of poking out from under the hood, these sort of hooked gray noses. They're all just staring up.
Are they
listening.
staring at the one little spider on the ceiling?
They're staring directly up at the ceiling of the floor above them, right? They are listening.
Yeah, they're waiting for us to go away.
You just kind of watch as one of the taller figures just kind of puts a finger up to the hood and glances around the room at all the little ones. And they all kind of look over to him, nod and mirror the motion, and continue to watch and wait.
How many big ones are there?
You see 3.
How many little?
4. And we're going to leave it there for the session and pick up there next week. As Aloran has cracked the case and discovered the lair of our mysterious culprits.
Well, the Gatewatch got killed.
There's just corpses of the Gatewatch all over the basement.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot to describe all the mangled corpses lying in the pile of coins.
I missed what you said was there. 3 big ones and
there are no
4
corpses
small
in
ones.
this
What?
room. Three tall figures and 4 small, goofy-looking figures. And
Okay, so you didn't actually say what they were. Just
yeah, and pile of coins and valuables, silverware.
I got all that, but I thought you said what they were, not just figures, and I thought I missed it.
No, you've got the weird, lumpy, potato-shaped fucking purple boys, the little short ones.
Can I just say, I was fucking terrified when we first started this, because one of the signs of a beholder is things going missing randomly. And I was like, oh, fuck.
There is no way we're handling a beholder.
I know, I was like, what the fuck is Blood thinking?
Damn it, I should have done that.
I mean, Noelle would have never known that, but Peter was like thinking back to the fucking monster manual, like, oh shit.
I'm not that bad. Come on. Spiders and boogeymen. It's not a big deal.
This is
little,
much better.
Horns. All right, you can handle
Trying
it.
to discover a character's backstory, suddenly beholders. Well, fuck that backstory.
Yeah, goodbye.
This island is a goddamn death trap.
That's the next island.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
Wait, isn't the next island the one I wanted to go to?
Ilokgal, I think, was the next one we had our eyes on, potentially.
Oh, was it?
Oh, was it? I thought it was the...
Yeah, that was the one. That's the Death Trap Island. Yeah. What was...
All I know is someone got very excited about the Dragon Graveyard. It might have been Lauren or John. I don't remember.
I thought it was you.
Dragon Graveyard?
It wasn't me.
Yeah. You're like, fuck dragons.
I mean, I
mentioned
mentioned it as a place where we could probably get loot.
Dragon Graveyard.
That's on Ilokgal. Yeah.
Well, Shawnee really needs to go to bed, so...
All right. So, real quick, MVP. Who's got the nominee?
Lauren?
Burberry had locate object. Lauren
That was
also
handy.
did that. Yeah, Lauren probably actually, because she had the dog thing too, which was really helpful.
I'm so sorry. I can't turn into a dog.
Fucking wet.
But yeah, I also vote Lauren.